Chapter 2472. He asked He-Tu, but He-Tu didn't understand. However, He-Tu guessed that this might not be a wall, but the corpse of a powerful existence that had been forcefully refined and placed here. You're saying that this is a corpse? Heavens! Lin Xian was shocked. He wanted to verify it, so he didn't fly in a straight line, but changed directions. However, he discovered that no matter where he flew, he was surrounded by a sea of blood. Only the area where the dragon sword domain was formed a vacuum. According to his estimation, with his speed, he should be able to fly thousands of miles. However, he didn't get out, nor did he see anything else. How could this be a human's body? Whose body could be so huge? Therefore, he felt that it was very likely that this was an illusion that had been created to create a false impression for people. Forget it, he still couldn't figure out the ancient tomb of a saint. He could only get out first. This flight lasted for 9 days and 9 nights. Lin Xian felt that he might be trapped in this sea of blood for the rest of his life. Finally, he was touched by something, and his body stopped. This is great! He finally arrived. Lin Xian was delighted. He guessed that this might be the other side of the wall. As expected, he waved his hand again and drew the Tao pattern that he had comprehended. Instantly, the front was torn apart and light appeared. Whoosh! His body swayed and he came out. The cave behind him healed again and turned into a wall. This made Lin Xian dizzy. Could it be that he flew for 9 days and 9 nights just to pass through a wall? If he hadn't experienced it himself, he wouldn't have believed it. Whoosh! Just as he was sighing, a sharp aura suddenly came from behind him. It was very terrifying, as if it was going to pierce through his body. Humph! Lin Xian dodged like a flickering light. His afterimage was mercilessly pierced through. In the next moment, he formed a seal with his palm and slapped out 9 dragon shadows, directly shattering everything in front of him. Bang! Bang! The terrifying power was like an earthquake. A sonorous sound rang out. Crack! Crack! A branch fell to the ground and kept twisting like the tail of a venomous snake. What was this? Lin Xian frowned. He looked and realized that it was really a branch. In the next moment, he turned his head. It turned out that this was a palace, and he was not alone. There were dozens of figures in front of him, and one of them was glaring at him with murderous intent. This person was very strange. His body was purple and his skin was like tree bark. It was very rough and made people want to vomit just by looking at him. Needless to say, the one who attacked just now should be this guy. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked at the other party. He had a squarish appearance, and no hair on his head. Instead, he had purple leaves. How was this a human? This was a walking tree. Damn it, it really is a tree. Tree demon! Lin Xian frowned. Regardless of whether it was a tree demon or not, how dare it attack him? He snorted coldly and strode forward. The half-demon wasn't the only one in the hall. There were others as well. Apart from him, there were 2 other half-demons. The others were all humans. Lin Xian instantly released his soul power to investigate the situation. He saw the 9 firmament Saint Sun and Wuhua. They were the top 2 of the younger generation. Apart from them, there were also some elders and peerless experts. In short, everyone's eyes were fixed on Lin Xian. Apart from Wuhua and a few others, everyone else's eyes were filled with vigilance and even killing intent. The 9 firmament Saint Sun's face was cold, but he did not immediately attack. However, the tree demon in front of him directly attacked. Brat, there was a path to heaven but you didn't take it. There was no door to hell but you barged in. Since you're here to die, don't blame me for being rude. He was too angry. Previously, when the treasure map with 6 Tao patterns was stolen, he gritted his teeth. Now that he had met the other party, how could he not attack? With a palm strike, countless branches spread out and turned into 9 dragons. As if they were going to swallow the sky, they covered the sky and enveloped Lin Xian. Humph! Lin Xian snorted coldly. With a flick of his finger, a sword wave swept out in all directions. Caw caw caw! The branches in the sky were cut off, turning into countless fragments and scattering. The remaining sword waves rushed towards the tree demon. This was not an ordinary tree demon. It had the bloodline of the demonic purple gold vine. The demonic purple gold vine was a mutated species between heaven and earth. Legend had it that it was born in the demonic purple gold fire, and was extremely powerful. Although the purple tree demon in front of him was not the main body of the demonic purple gold vine, it probably had a part of its bloodline. Therefore, when he saw the sword waves slashing towards him, he roared and attacked again. The purple leaves rustled, and each of them turned into a peerless killing intent, forming a strange light in the sky. Boom, boom, boom! The purple light collided with the sword waves, and the sky fell and the earth cracked. But at this time, Lin Xian attacked again. Dragonchi revolved in his palm, then turned into a black tortoise and pressed down. The black tortoise's shadow was naturally formed by him using the great dragon sword rune. As soon as it appeared, it was like a primordial demon mountain, crushing the void. Boom! The tree demon was sent flying by the black tortoise's shadow and was even suppressed. He lay on the ground, and the black tortoise on his body emitted a terrifying aura. This scene made everyone's expression change. That was because they realized that Lin Xian was simply too powerful. Even such a terrifying tree demon with an astonishing bloodline could be suppressed in an instant. It was unbelievable. The elders and peerless figures all looked solemn. The ninth firmament saint's face was also gloomy. Wu Hua formed a Buddhist seal with his hand, and a mysterious smile appeared on his face. He looked at the scene calmly. Whoosh! In front of him, the purple tree demon roared, and purple runes appeared on his body. Those branches quickly turned into purple flames and burned fiercely. The purple flames wrapped around the sword chi and burned it clean. The purple tree demon soared into the sky, and the leaves on his head swayed. He looked extremely ferocious. Damn brat, I'm going to kill you! He was too angry. He was also a mutated species of heaven and earth. When had he ever suffered such a blow? Therefore, he could not tolerate it. Brat, I'll show you the bloodline of the demonic purple gold vine clan today. He roared crazily, and the purple aura kept shining. It was as if suns appeared in the sky one after another, shining so brightly that everyone could not open their eyes. That was the power of the bloodline. Many people around exclaimed. They retreated while whispering to each other. Boom! 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 Purple light burst out in the sky, and 18 purple shadows appeared behind the tree demon. Each of them was like a purple river surging in the sky. Lin Xian's eyes pierced through the purple light like a sword. He found that the 18 shadows were actually 18 branches. Each of them was vigorous and powerful, like a dragon. Moreover, Lin Xian could clearly feel that there were mysterious patterns on them, which were obviously different from the tree demon's branches. It seemed that they were stimulated by the power of the bloodline. The 18 bloodline branches were like swords, sabers, spears, and divine spears. They were also like dragons and poisonous snakes, circling in the sky. Chapter 2473. Whoosh whoosh. There were still purple flames burning on the 18 bloodline branches, which made one's heart tremble. Damn brat, go to hell! The purple tree demon roared, and 18 attacks quickly fell. The void cracked, the sky collapsed, and violent energy rushed in all directions. How dare a puny tree demon attack me? Lin Xian snorted coldly, pulled out his ancient sword, and attacked. His body was like a flickering shadow, moving between the 18 attacks. Bang, bang, bang! One sword after another, each sword was extremely sharp, and cut off the 18 bloodline branches. Crack! The long sword swung, and the purple flames were extinguished, and the bloodline branch was cut in half. With another sweep of the sword, another purple ray of light was covered with cracks. Lin Xian's swordsmanship was unparalleled at this moment. Countless sword shadows rushed in the sky, and the eyelids of the surrounding people twitched wildly. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In an instant, the 18 purple lights were all cut off, and the flames fell to the ground, constantly twisting and burning. A few of them even fell beside other martial artists, and immediately those martial artists screamed as half of their bodies were burned away. One could imagine how terrifying the flames were. However, it could do nothing to Lin Xian. Damn it! This is impossible! I don't believe it! The tree demon was shocked. That was the power of his bloodline, and it was so easily broken by the other party. What kind of swordsmanship is that? Why is the other party's combat power so strong? Could it be that the other party also has the power of his bloodline? However, he did not have time to think too much. That was because the other party was also coming at him. Another few sword lights slashed out, and the tree demon was forced to retreat again and again, rolling in the air. I don't know what's good for me? Lin Xian sneered. He stretched out a large azure dragon hand and grabbed forward, wanting to catch the purple tree demon. However, at this moment, he frowned and looked into the distance. Whoosh! His body moved, and he instantly disappeared into the sky. Bang! The void where he was originally standing shattered. A black light flashed. It was like a sharp heavenly blade, destroying everything. Fortunately, his soul was strong and fast enough. Otherwise, that attack would definitely have injured him. What a terrifying attack! What is this? The others were also shocked. The saint of the ninth firmament looked serious. Even Wuhua's eyes flashed as he looked at the black shadow. The black silhouette flashed by. Seeing that his attack had missed, he quickly retreated. The crowd followed the black silhouette and turned their gazes. They discovered that it was another expert from the Demon Imperial Palace who had made his move. What was that? Black Yak? Everyone looked at the other side and stared in shock. The person in front of them was a 5-meter-tall minotaur. The other party's entire body was pitch black, as if it was forged from black gold. There were even mysterious black runes flickering on his skin. The bull's head was even more ferocious. Its eyes were filled with endless coldness. At this moment, the black light returned to its hand and turned into a bull's horn. Ox horns! Everyone was stunned. Taking a closer look, they discovered that the left horn had indeed disappeared from the other party's head. Could it be that the other party was using the horns to attack? That's right, they realized that their guess was right. That was because the black yak had directly pressed its horns into the ground. Then, he shook his head and snorted coldly. Brat, you've gone too far. How dare you attack the Demon Imperial Palace again and again? Do you really think that there's no one in the Demon Imperial Palace who can stop you? The black yak's voice was very low. Every word he said would cause a black hole to appear in the void. One could imagine how terrifying the other party's strength was. Cut the crap. Why? Do you want to attack too? Lin Xian's expression was cold as he looked at the other party. These people from the Demon Imperial Palace were too arrogant. Did they really think that they were the best in the world? It was clearly the other party who attacked first. Now that they couldn't beat him, they ran over to scold him? What kind of logic was that? Lin Xian wasn't afraid of the Demon Imperial Palace. Therefore, in the next moment, he swung his sword again. The golden sword light shone in the sky, emitting an incomparably bright light. It formed a golden sun that rotated in the sky. Boom! The golden sword exploded and slashed forward like a scorching sun. His target was still the purple tree demon. Courting death. The purple tree demon was furious. Previously, the black yak had saved his life and allowed him to breathe. Originally, he thought that he was safe. He didn't expect that the other party would be so persistent and still attack him. This made his heart thump like thunder. Kill! He used the power of his bloodline again. Purple vines flew out and whipped the void like divine whips. The black yak below was also furious. The other party didn't know what was good for him and didn't listen to his warning. His face was gloomy, and a hint of killing intent appeared in his black eyes. With a stomp of his foot, the entire hall shook. Countless cracks appeared in the surrounding space. A powerful shockwave surged towards Lin Xian, wanting to tear him apart. Lin Xian swung his sword again. The sword of earth turned into 9 earth dragons and roared forward. In an instant, the Black Yak's attack was neutralized. However, he also lost 2 earth dragons. However, the remaining 7 earthen dragons quickly rushed over. In an instant, they wrapped around the Black Yak. "Damn it, open up!" the Black Yak roared. Its 5-meter-tall body expanded again, and a powerful force burst out. The 7 earth dragons formed by the Sword of Earth instantly collapsed. "Kid, you're too reckless." The Black Yak was really angry. He clenched his fist and punched out. The sky shook and the earth shook. The violent fist was unparalleled, making the surrounding warriors tremble. Even the 9th firmament saint looked solemn. Lin Xian suddenly moved horizontally. The place where he was originally standing was blown up. After missing, the Black Yak didn't stop. His palms slapped horizontally. It seemed that he wouldn't give up until he caught the other party. Lin Xian moved in the sky and dodged the big black palm. At the same time, his speed suddenly increased, and he attacked the tree demon again. "Damn it, get out of my way!" the purple tree demon roared. The vines all over the sky waved in the air. However, they were split apart by the sword. Puff! Blood splattered in the air. It was abnormally red. Lin Xian's long sword still came in front of the tree demon. Chaotic reversal. With a slash, the tree's waist was cut in half. "Ah!" the tree demon screamed crazily. It was incomparably ferocious. The leaves all over the sky shook and pierced through the void. The upper half of its body fled crazily, turning into a stream of light. However, Lin Xian attacked again. "You're courting death." "How dare you!" the Black Yak roared. He pulled out his left horn and threw it out. The black horn turned into a flash of black lightning and collided with the ancient dragon source sword, making a sonorous sound. With a clang, Lin Xian felt his arm go numb. He was forced back, but the horn was also sent flying by him. What a terrifying power! What kind of creature was this guy? Lin Xian was surprised. His body swayed and he didn't attack again. Instead, he stared at the Black Yak. Chapter 2474. What terrifying power! What kind of creature was this guy? Lin Xian was surprised. He stared at the Black Yak. He was too surprised. One had to know that his strength was very strong, but the other party was able to numb his arm with just a horn. He had to admit that the Black Yak's strength was far beyond his imagination. This was definitely a mutant of heaven and earth. Moreover, the bloodline power it contained was probably very terrifying. Rumor had it that the Grand Supreme had a very terrifying bull. Could this guy be the descendant of that bull? That was not right. According to the ancient records, the Grand Supreme's bull was green, but this guy was black. It did not seem like it. Could it really be a mutation? Or did it have a special hobby? The surrounding people whispered. Hearing this, the Black Yak suddenly turned his head. His palm sucked, and instantly sucked the 2 warriors who were gossiping over. Get lost! These 2 young warriors were also geniuses. Their strength had reached the level of a mighty figure, and they could laugh arrogantly. However, in the hands of the Black Yak, they were like ants. Puff! 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 The Black Yak clapped his palms, and the 2 men's bodies were torn into pieces, turning into a bloody mist. This scene made everyone's scalp tingle. They no longer dared to guess the other party's identity. Brother Yak, kill him! At this moment, the purple tree demon also fled behind the Black Yak. At this moment, he only had half of his body left. The other half of his body was shattered by the sword light. However, at his level of strength, such injuries could still be healed. However, the sword chi at his waist was too terrifying. He had to get rid of it quickly. Otherwise, he would not be able to recover at all. More importantly, he had to quickly subdue this brat. The Black Yak's face was also gloomy. He called back his horns again with a solemn expression. His bloodline power was far beyond everyone's imagination. Especially his horns, it was not a problem for him to destroy an Earth-tier treasure. However, the other party's treasured sword was completely fine, and the other party was also fine. This really surprised him. He knew that he had encountered a powerful opponent. However, now, there were more important things to do. Therefore, he said in a deep voice, "This time, it's our fault. I hope you stop now and don't fight anymore. Why don't we work together to get the treasure?" Admitting defeat? How could he make it sound so dignified? Lin Xian sneered. Hearing this, the black yak trembled with anger. His eyes turned red, but in the end, he didn't attack. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian did not make a move. Since he had already suppressed these people from the demon imperial palace, he began to observe his surroundings. The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. Oh heavens, such a powerful expert from the demon imperial palace was actually suppressed? Furthermore, he had taken the initiative to lower his head. They looked at Lin Xian with faces full of fear. However, the light in Zhou Zhao's eyes grew even colder. Beside him, Wu Hua smiled again. "Brother Lin, we meet again." Wu Hua performed a Buddhist ritual, while Lin Xian cupped his fists with a smile. "Brother Wu Hua, what is this place? What treasure was the black yak talking about?" "Perhaps it was that." Wu Hua pointed forward. Lin Xian also saw clearly that the hall was very spacious. The surrounding walls were simple and unadorned. There were ancient green lamps in the four corners, but there were no flames. Presumably, it had long since disappeared in the endless passage of time. The ground under their feet was not ordinary ground. It was engraved with countless mysterious runes that were densely arranged. He found that it was a little similar to the 8 trigrams. In front of them, which was the center of the 8 trigrams, was a cauldron. It was another bronze cauldron, but it was not big. It was only 2 meters tall. It was also covered with runes, and the sun, moon, and stars were engraved on it. It was very mysterious, and made people exclaim at a glance. However, although there were many experts around, no one dared to step forward. Even Wu Hua and the 9th Firmament Saint did not dare to act rashly. Because not long ago, they had encountered a bronze cauldron that was 100 meters tall. There were 99 heads of invincible kings in it. It was that bronze cauldron that had separated them from their sacred ground. Now, they could not find anyone else. So now that they encountered the bronze cauldron again, they were full of vigilance, afraid that they would fall into another trap. Seeing the bronze cauldron, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. Although it might be a trap, I don't think these people will give up. Why did they stop? He was very confused. Wu Hua said, "To be honest, we want to snatch it too, but the 8 trigrams under our feet is a powerful array that prevents us from going forward." Lin Xian strode forward. As expected, no matter how he walked, he could not get close to the bronze cauldron. "Kid, who do you think you are? Do you think we are so cowardly? How ridiculous!" Seeing that Lin Xian had failed twice, the 9th Firmament Saint snorted disdainfully. There was contempt in his eyes. The surrounding experts were also in a heated discussion. Seeing the 9th Firmament Saint's disdain, Lin Xian was not angry. Instead, he turned his head and said to Wu Hua, "I know some arrays. Give me some time, and I might be able to break the 8 trigrams under our feet." "Oh!" Wu Hua raised his eyebrows. Everyone around pricked up their ears and looked over. Even the people from the Demon Imperial Palace cast their gazes over. However, the 9th Firmament Saint snorted. "So what if you know arrays? Who here doesn't know arrays? However, I'm afraid only the best array masters can break it. Could it be that you think your array skills have reached the acme of perfection and can reach the heavens and the earth?" As soon as the 9th Firmament Saint said that, the surrounding people started discussing again. Indeed, at their level, they understood formations and alchemy. Some of them were very proficient in them, because they were related to their own strength and cultivation. However, although they were proficient, they were not array masters. Compared to real array masters, there was still a difference. Of course, this comparison was with the best array formation masters. They looked down on ordinary array masters. That was why the 9th Firmament Saint was so disdainful. "So you are suspecting me?" Lin Xian also frowned. "Then take your people and get lost. When I break the array later, if you dare to enter, I will break your legs. You! Hearing this, the ninth firmament saint was so angry that he vomited blood. The people beside him also looked ferocious. Damn it, how dare you scold our saint like that? Do you want to die? Kid, you are courting death. Hearing this, the ninth firmament saint's face darkened. He roared, and killing intent erupted from his body. He was like an Archean ferocious beast. In an instant, he was in front of Lin Xian. He punched out with both fists, aiming for Lin Xian's head. Lin Xian raised his hand and punched out. The two of them exchanged 7 blows in the sky. Whoosh! The ninth firmament saint retreated, while Lin Xian stood where he was like a demon. In the sky, the violent aura was still surging. The ninth firmament saint's face was cold. His blood was boiling, and his arm was numb. However, he still could not hurt his opponent. Chapter 2475. You don't have the right to say that to me. Lin Xian looked at him with disdain. He was no longer paying attention to him. The ninth firmament saint was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. However, under normal circumstances, he could not do anything to him, unless he used his trump card. However, he did not want to use it unless he had no other choice. After all, once exposed, he would have no secrets among the other saints. It was very dangerous for a person to use all his trump cards. Saint, what should we do? A few 9 firmament sacred ground martial artists gritted their teeth and asked. The 9 firmament saint snorted. Don't be rash. Let's see what he can do first. I don't believe that this kid can really solve it. At this point, the 9 firmament saint sneered. If Lin Xian could not do it, he would be embarrassed. We can go up and slap his face. If Lin Xian could do it, it would be even better for us. At that time, we can snatch the treasure. The saint is wise. Hearing this, the surrounding 9 firmament sacred ground people's eyes lit up. The others' eyes were also shining. Obviously, they were all making their own plans. Wuhua asked doubtfully. Brother Lin, are you sure you can do it? Lin Xian nodded. He glanced around and saw the expressions of those people. He snorted. How could he not know what they were thinking? Were they trying to take advantage of the situation? Take advantage of the situation? How could there be such a good thing in the world? Lin Xian said in a deep voice. I am confident that I can break this 8 trigrams array. However, it is impossible for me to do it alone. If I want to break the array, I need everyone to work together. Work together? Hearing this, everyone was stunned. However, they did not doubt it. After all, they knew that this was the ancient tomb of a saint. It was very strange. 1 or 2 people would not be able to break it. Therefore, they did not care. Lin Xian saw that everyone was silent, and said in a deep voice. Then I will take it that you have acquiesced. Now let me say it. In the entire process, I will be the leader. You have to obey my orders unconditionally. If I tell you to go east, you must not go west. If I tell you to go, you must not stop. If you can't do it, or if you don't cooperate, then I can't do anything. If you are not willing, everyone will go their separate ways and look for opportunities. I will not waste my time here. What? Respect you? Do I have to listen to you? Hearing this, the surrounding experts were dumbfounded. The 9th firmament saint snorted coldly. What a joke! Who do you think you are? You want to order us around? That's right, you don't have the qualifications. The people from the Supreme First Royal Palace also spoke up. On the other side, the experts from the other holy lands also shook their heads. A brat like him wanted to lead all of them? What a joke! These people were all arrogant and unruly peerless geniuses and experts. Who would be willing to lower their heads to others? Therefore, this matter was absolutely impossible. Seeing this, Lin Xian sneered. Since that's the case, don't blame me. Lin Xian turned around. Brother Wuhua, are you going to stay here? I won't accompany them anymore. With that, Lin Xian turned to leave. Seeing this scene, everyone's hearts also rose. They had been deciphering for a long time, but they still couldn't find any clues. And now, even though he was confident, he still wanted to leave. This caused their final hope to be dashed. For a moment, everyone was extremely nervous. Wu Hua said, "Brother Lin, wait." Then, he looked at everyone. "I think we can give it a try. It seems that Brother Lin is the most proficient in formations here, so there shouldn't be any problems if we listen to him." Hearing Wu Hua's words, some people fell silent and pondered, while others snorted coldly. "If he says he's proficient, what if he's lying to us?" "That's right, that kid doesn't look like a good person at first glance." "I have another idea. We don't have to listen to his orders. Why don't we join forces and capture that kid? I don't believe that he won't listen to us." The person who spoke was a young man. He was dressed in a black and white Taoist robe and looked extremely mysterious. At that moment, his voice was bone-chillingly cold. He was from the Yin-Yang sect. The surrounding people turned around and saw the young man. They recognized his identity. The people from the Yin-Yang sect sneered. Obviously, they were trying to incite everyone's emotions so that they could surround and capture the kid. As expected, when he said that, many people's eyes lit up. The Ninth Firmament Saint sneered. "I think that's a good idea." The people from the Demon Imperial Palace also revealed sinister smiles. "Capture that kid, and we can activate the formation. What are you waiting for? Let's attack together." More and more people around them agreed. Wu Hua frowned. These people are courting death by coming up with such an idea. As expected, Lin Xian's face darkened, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. He did not say anything. Suddenly, a shocking sword light burst out from his eyes, and golden runes shone. "Ah!" Poof! A few screams were heard. Then, two martial artists from the Yin-Yang sect were instantly cut in half. A martial artist from the Ninth Firmament Sacred Ground rolled on the ground and then turned into a dried corpse. A half-demon from the Demon Imperial Palace was nailed to death in midair by the sword Qi. Other than that, the people from the other sacred grounds were also killed. In an instant, more than a dozen powerful martial artists were killed. Everyone was stunned by this scene. They stopped in their tracks and looked at Lin Xian in horror. Their bodies were trembling. "Oh my God, is he still human?" Lin Xian snorted coldly. "You want to attack me? Fine. Come on. Let's see if you dare to attack me." He looked around. Feeling his gaze, everyone lowered their heads and quickly retreated. "Are you kidding me? He's too powerful. This is a misunderstanding. We're joking." These people shook their heads frantically and did not dare to have such thoughts anymore. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He stared at the martial artist from the Yin-Yang sect who spoke first. "What are you trying to do?" The martial artist from the Yin-Yang sect felt his scalp tingle. He did not expect Lin Xian to be so powerful. After killing so many people in an instant, the others were completely stunned. This was completely different from what they had imagined. In their opinion, even if the other party was a chosen-level genius, no matter how powerful he was, it would be a piece of cake for all of them to capture him if they worked together. After all, they were all top experts. If they worked together, no one would be able to fight against them. However, they did not expect Lin Xian to attack first before they could do anything. Moreover, he was so fierce and murderous. The others did not dare to attack at all. What was worse was that Lin Xian had his eyes on him. "Humph, what are you trying to do?" The martial artist from the Yin-Yang sect snorted coldly. A hint of fear appeared in his eyes. However, when he thought of his identity, he revealed a sinister expression. "What am I trying to do? I'll kill you!" Lin Xian held his sword and walked forward. He was murderous like a god of death, causing others to tremble. Chapter 2476. The expression of Wang Tong, the prodigy of the Brighting sect, finally changed. He did not expect Lin Fan to attack him. In the next moment, his face darkened. "Damn brat, do you want to start a war with the Yin-Yang sect? You can't represent the Yin-Yang sect." Lin Xian's voice was cold. He slashed with his sword. A terrifying aura swept across the sky as if a primordial demonic beast had awakened in the sky. Sword light filled the sky, drowning the entire space. Damn it! Get lost! Wang Tong, the prodigy of the Yin-Yang sect, roared in anger. He was also a prodigy, and he was very powerful. Buzz! He formed a seal with his hands, and the yin and yang energies on his body quickly merged to form a yin-yang diagram that spun in front of him. Boom! Poof! A clanging sound was heard as the sword slashed on the yin-yang diagram. However, the yin-yang diagram was soon split open by the sword. Wang Tong spat out blood and flew backward. Both of his arms were directly broken. He retreated. Lin Xian took a step forward and rushed over like a dragon. His right hand was like a giant palm that covered the sky. Crack! 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 Before the palm landed, the aftershock of the energy shattered the space around Wang Tong. The yin and yang energies on Wang Tong's body kept rolling. He screamed in fear and hurriedly formed a set of armor. At the same time, he formed a yin-yang shield in front of him. It was another earth-shattering attack. The yin-yang shield and armor shattered, and Wang Tong's successor crashed to the ground. It was as if there was an earthquake, and the world shook. All the bones in his body were shattered. The blood in his body was rolling, and his internal organs were impacted, causing him to spit out large mouthfuls of blood. Ah! Wang Tong roared crazily. The yin and yang energies on his body shot into the sky like two black and white divine dragons. He roared non-stop. His broken bones healed in an instant. On the other hand, his hair was disheveled, and his eyes were bloodshot. Damn brat, I'm going to kill you! I'll definitely kill you! His expression was ferocious, and his killing intent was monstrous. You want to kill me? Let's see if you have the right to do so. Lin Xian raised the ancient dragon abyss sword. Yin-yang / die. Both of Wharton's hands quickly formed hand seals, and the yin and yang energies within his body kept fusing to form a huge blade. Next, he slashed down towards the sky. On the other side, Lin Xian also brandished his ancient sword and performed the 5 elements sword technique. An earth-shattering collision rang out. Within Lin Xian's body, the great dragon sword spirit roared, and his battle prowess rapidly soared. The first sword strike shattered the yin-yang saber. The second sword strike enveloped Wang Tong. When the sword chi that filled the sky disappeared, Wharton's corpse appeared in front of everyone. Everyone in the surroundings was stupefied, because on Wang Tong's body, there were 15 sharp sword lights that pierced through his body, nailing him to death in the air. He was a genius of the Yin-Yang sect. How could he be killed so easily? They couldn't believe it. Lin Xian was like a demonic god, looking around disdainfully. He coldly asked, "Who else wants to attack me? Bring it on. I can guarantee that your end will be even worse than his." Hearing this voice, those people felt their scalps go numb. Even the 9th Firmament Saint and the Black Yak from the Demon Imperial Palace looked gloomy, and did not say a word. Amitabha. Wu Hua was reciting Buddhist scriptures at the back, but he didn't say anything, because these people asked for it. "All right, since you have nothing to say, then do as I say. With me as the leader, we will break this array together." With that, Lin Xian withdrew his ancient sword. The others thought for a long time, then silently stepped forward, ready to cooperate with Lin Xian. The 9th Firmament Saint snorted and led the people from the 9th Firmament Sacred Ground forward. On the other side, the people from the Demon Imperial Palace also stepped forward. Although Lin Xian had mercilessly killed their people before, they had no choice but to cooperate with him now. Lin Xian began to prepare to break the 8 trigrams array under his feet. Other strange phenomena also happened in other places. The bronze cauldron and the heads of 99 invincible kings caused everyone to be randomly teleported. Some people were teleported together, but most of them were scattered. Xingtian, elderly, and the others were also teleported. The Crimson Dragon was also teleported to another place. "Damn it, it's that snake! Catch it! Skin it!" Several angry roars sounded near the Crimson Dragon. Whoosh! Whoosh! A few figures rushed over. They were the experts of the Tai dynasty. They were also teleported nearby. At this moment, their eyes were like lightning, staring at the Crimson Dragon. That was because they recognized that it was the crawling snake beside Lin Xian. They could not deal with Lin Xian for the time being, but they could kill the snake first and make it into snake soup to vent their hatred. Boom! Boom! Giant palm of destruction. Berserk 3 slashes. Lightning sword technique. A series of terrifying attacks blasted over, enveloping the Crimson Dragon. Then they laughed out loud. Damn snake, that's what you get for being so arrogant. That's what you get for following that kid. Now you know your retribution. Not only you, but everyone around that kid will be killed. The people from the Tai dynasty and the crown prince's side sneered crazily. However, in the next moment, their eyes widened in disbelief. Damn it! How is that possible? Dream on. I must be dreaming. Damn it! I'm under an illusion. They roared crazily, and the light on their bodies flickered as they tried to regain their consciousness. That was because they realized that under their shocking attacks, the other party was completely fine. In fact, he was not even injured at all. That made them unable to believe it. The Crimson Dragon spat out saliva. Damn it, it hurts so much. Damn it, how dare you attack Ben Wang? You've committed an unforgivable crime. As he said that, he waved his dragon claws, and a terrifying dragon shadow appeared and enveloped the three people above. Damn it, get lost. The three powerhouses from the Tai dynasty roared angrily and fought. An earth-shattering battle began. The more they fought, the more shocked they became because they realized that the snake in front of them was too terrifying. Every attack made their arms numb and their blood boil. After a few moves, they were injured. However, when their attacks landed on the other party's body, it only made the other party grimace and scream in pain. However, there were no injuries at all. It made them have the urge to vomit blood. Sure enough, after a few hundred moves, one of the kings was slapped to the ground and then enveloped by a formation. After another 100 moves, the second powerhouse was also seriously injured. Another formation enveloped him. Not long after, the third powerhouse from the Tai dynasty was also subdued. The three of them were sealed and lying on the ground, screaming crazily. Damn snake, kill us if you have the guts. Otherwise, you're dead meat. That's right, there are countless powerhouses in the Tai dynasty. Do you think you can fight against us? Damn it! How dare you be so arrogant in my hands? The Crimson Dragon slapped each of them 3 times, and the powerhouses from the Tai dynasty saw stars. Their faces shattered in an instant, and their teeth flew everywhere. However, they recovered very quickly. After all, at their level, this kind of injury was nothing at all. However, they could not tolerate such a way of slapping their faces. Chapter 2477. They could not stand such a slap in the face. Snake, how dare you hit me? Just you wait. When I break the seal, I will kill you. Yes, I will skin you and make you into boots. I will make snake soup out of your flesh. F***ck. You want to eat me? Stomp! Stomp! Stomp, stomp, stomp! The Crimson Dragon kept stomping on the faces of the 3 Tai dynasty experts. With every stomp, their faces cracked and bones and blood flew everywhere. But soon, their faces recovered. Just like that, the Crimson Dragon stomped on their faces hundreds of times. They had the urge to die. The Crimson Dragon stopped and looked at the 3. How about it? Do you still dare to be arrogant in front of Ben Wang? No, no, no. Master Snake, please let us go. Yes, we were wrong. F***ck, kill me if you dare. Give me a quick death. The 3 begged for mercy, and some roared. Humph! The Crimson Dragon slapped each of them again. F***ck, you are the snake. I am a dragon. Call me Master Dragon from now on. Also, it is impossible to kill you. Ben Huang needs a few servants now, so you can be them. From now on, you are Ben Huang's lackeys. You are the first lackey, the second lackey, and the third lackey. The three of you must serve me well. After 81 years, I can give you a way out. Otherwise, I will let you taste the feeling of living a life worse than death." The Crimson Dragon showed a sinister smile. As the youngest monster, he had many means. Sure enough, the three tiny dynasty experts roared crazily after hearing that. But after half an hour, they screamed like pigs being slaughtered. Then they agreed. Now that their cultivation was sealed, they could not resist at all. If they did not agree, they would be living a life worse than death. "Very well, now that Ben Wang is tired, you guys carry Ben Wang." The Crimson Dragon waved his dragon claw. Suddenly, the three Tai Dynasty experts carefully lifted the Crimson Dragon. "Let's go." The Crimson Dragon pointed in a direction, and the group set off like a gust of wind. Even though their cultivation bases were sealed, they were still top-notch almighties after all. Their physical bodies were extremely strong. With a single step, it would not be a problem for him to cross a few hundred meters. Just like that, the Crimson Dragon set out to find a new pet. In the darkness, a white light flashed and turned into a little white monkey. Behind him, a few figures were chasing after him in a frenzy. "Damn monkey, put down the treasure! Damn it! I'll kill you! Damned monkey! I will definitely chop you into pieces!" The people behind him roared crazily. However, they could not catch up with the little white monkey at all. The little white monkey's body was as light as a swallow. She glided through the dark passageway and entered a palace. The four martial artists behind him also charged over. Whoosh! The snow-white little monkey stopped, because he found that there was also someone in front of him. Sure enough, there were people in front of them. Moreover, there were more than 10 people who belonged to different holy lands and great sections. When they saw Little White, they also cried out in alarm. This monkey, wasn't this the pet at Immortal Palace's side? Why did it appear here? They must have gotten separated. Should they catch it and stew it? Many people had the idea. Among them, there were also people from the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land. They gritted their teeth. However, the snow-white little monkey immediately arrived in front of the martial artists from the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land. Its furry little paws knocked them out. Swoosh! He turned into a bolt of lightning and dodged the attacks of these people. He revealed a mocking expression in the sky. Woo woo woo! He pointed at these people with a look of disdain, as if saying, "You're all trash. F***ck. Kill him. Damn it, this is intolerable." The disciples of the 5 Elements Palace and the 10,000 Thunder Holy Land were instantly furious. They were also geniuses. When did they get looked down on by a monkey and even knocked unconscious? Boom! Boom! These people used their divine abilities to catch Little White. The snow-white little monkey's body was like lightning. It was incomparably strange. These people could not catch it at all. This made everyone shocked again and again. Among them, a beautiful figure's beautiful eyes flickered with a strange light. At this moment, another 4 figures appeared at the entrance. They cursed loudly. "Damn monkey, get over here!" It was accompanied by a spiritual attack. A huge saber light rushed up in the sky, a rainbow-like spear light, and a terrifying palm and fist blasted into the void. They enveloped the snow-white little monkey. Everyone exclaimed. With such a violent power, the little monkey was definitely dead. That's right. No one below the realm of supreme beings could contend against it. What a pity. What's there to pity? It's better if that damned monkey is killed. Woo woo. While these people were discussing and sneering, a voice came from the other side of the space. Little White appeared and made a face. It stuck out its tongue and spat with a look of disdain. This caused the remaining people to shout in anger. Especially the people behind them, they were so angry that they vomited blood. They charged over again. The remaining people were extremely shocked. How could it dodge that? How was that possible? Damn it, how did this monkey do it? 7 or 8 experts surrounded Little White, causing the space it had to dodge to become smaller and smaller. Little White's big black eyes flickered. Suddenly it found a figure in the crowd. Suddenly its eyes flickered. Whoosh! It tore through the void and instantly appeared in front of that figure. The person it chose was the mysterious beauty. Whoosh! Little White rushed to the other party's shoulder with a pitiful look. A few drops of tears even squeezed out of its big gem-like eyes. Seeing this, everyone's heart softened, especially the female disciples. They were all filled with motherly love and couldn't wait to hug the snow-white little monkey in their arms and dote on it. Sure enough, the mysterious beauty also stretched out her jade-like hands and hugged the snow-white little monkey. "Little guy, follow me, okay?" the beautiful woman asked. The snow-white little monkey nodded with a pitiful look. Seeing this scene, the beautiful woman said, "Don't worry, I'll help you slap these despicable flies away." Bang! She waved her jade-like hand, and light danced in the sky, blocking all the people who came over. These people stopped. Among them, the eyelids of the people from the 10,000 Thunder Sacred Land and the 5-Element Palace twitched when they saw the beautiful woman. They quickly retreated and stopped attacking. The 4 people who had been chasing after her roared angrily. "Damn little girl, who are you? How dare you interfere in my business? Hand over that damn monkey and I can spare your life. Little girl, you're quite pretty. Why don't you and that little monkey follow me?" The 4 of them sneered. The expressions of the others changed. Many people looked at the 4 people as if they were looking at dead people. Sensing the change in the expressions of the people around them, the 4 people also frowned. One of them asked loudly, "Damn it, who are you? How dare you interfere in our business?" "Yaoguang Lu Ruyan." A cold voice echoed in the air. Chapter 2478. Alcade. Hearing that name, the eyelids of the people in front twitched. They were stunned, and one of them exclaimed, "Lu Ruyan? The saintess of the Alcade's sacred ground." "What?" The other 3 people's expressions changed when they heard that. "Oh no, let's go!" They turned around and fled. They had no enmity with the Alcade saintess, but they did not know her identity, so they teased and humiliated her. That was definitely a disaster. Sure enough, the Alcade saintess, Lu Ruyan, waved her hand, and the holy light ball flew out and enveloped the 4 of them. Boom! Crackle! A terrifying explosion of energy completely engulfed the 4 of them. When the light disappeared, there was only a mist of blood on the ground. Not even their bones were left. The surrounding people swallowed their saliva, and their faces were full of horror. "Little guy, follow me from now on." Lu Ruyan smiled and rubbed Little White's head. Little White nodded and took the spirit fruit that Lu Ruyan gave it. It ate it happily. However, the moment it lowered its head, a hint of slyness appeared in its big black gem-like eyes. It was temporarily staying by Lu Ruyan's side and could be said to be safe. However, other places were not so lucky. Among them, Xingtian met Murong Qingqing. "Fairy Murong." Xingtian walked up. Murong Qingqing's eyes flickered. She asked, "Xingtian, where's Brother Xian? Isn't he with you?" Xingtian shook his head. "No, the young master has been teleported to another place. However, you don't have to worry, Fairy Murong. With the young master's strength and trump cards, there should be no problem." Indeed, hearing this, Murong Qingqing also let out a sigh of relief. Then, the group of people walked forward. There were martial artists from other sacred grounds and sects around them. These people temporarily joined forces. After all, in the saint's tomb, it was more powerful to join forces. "Hey, there are murals on the wall." After walking for a while, the surrounding people exclaimed. They saw that stone carvings had appeared on the walls on both sides of them at some point. The carvings were very exquisite and lifelike, as if they were real people. Everyone was excited because they had heard that Lin Xian had obtained a stone carving with 6 Taoist patterns on it. Therefore, they were excited when they saw a wall full of stone carvings. If there were a few Tao patterns on it, they would be rich. These people carefully stared at these murals, wanting to see if there were any Tao patterns. At this time, their pupils gradually became lax, and a strange light appeared. Among them, a few people screamed crazily. Kill! They began to attack their companions around them. In an instant, many of their companions were struck to the ground, and their blood dyed the void red. Damn it, are you crazy? His companions retreated frantically. Their bodies glowed brightly as they roared madly. They really couldn't understand why their companion would go crazy. Damn it, there's something wrong with these paintings, shouted an old man from the All Beginnings Holy Land. Look, the person on the mural is smiling. An old man from the Divine Wind Imperial family also frowned. Everyone focused their gazes over. As expected, they saw the originally solemn and mysterious mural actually had a strange smile on it. This made everyone's scalp go numb. Damn it, what's going on? They clearly remembered that the characters on the murals were expressionless. Why would they suddenly smile? They could not understand. However, more and more people were going crazy. They couldn't look at the murals. Xingtian roared. His roar was like a clap of thunder, shaking the surroundings. The tremor caused everyone to back up. Many people stopped looking at the murals to avoid going crazy. However, those who had already gone crazy could no longer control themselves. They began to attack everything around them. For a time, a great battle erupted. On the other side, Xingjingqiu was also teleported away. She met Peacock, Hui Dao, and the others. Xingjingqiu asked about Lin Xian's whereabouts. Hui Dao and Peacock did not know either. They were also randomly teleported away. Nearby were the prince of the Grand Xia dynasty and the Alcade Sage Sun. Apart from them, there were also many cultivators. These people were preparing to explore the passage ahead. A group of people was also traveling together. They walked halfway through the passage. Suddenly, all the light disappeared. What's going on? Why is it like this? Peacock frowned. Xingjingqiu was extremely nervous. She shouted, and purple light blossomed. It was like the moon. However, it dimmed in an instant, and no one could see it. It was not only her. The prince of the Grand Xia dynasty, the Alcade Sage Sun, and the others were the same. Their surroundings were pitch black. It seemed that even their souls were restricted. They could only move about a meter away. Not to mention the light on their bodies. Humph! The Alcade Sage snorted and directly sent out the dragon pattern cauldron replica. Boom! An earth-shattering sound was heard. However, this time, the dragon pattern cauldron replica seemed to be ineffective. The Alcade Sage Sun's face darkened. Damn it! In the darkness, he roared angrily. Next to him, the prince of the Grand Xia dynasty also used the golden sword imitation. However, it did not work either. This scene made everyone's hair stand on end. Even the two artifacts that were replicas of extreme weapons could not illuminate this dark passage. What exactly was in the dark passage? They did not dare to imagine. Let's go back. It was unknown who said this, but everyone decided to return. The group of people turned around and went back the way they came. However, after walking for 2 hours, they found that their surroundings were still extremely dark. There was no light at all. Oh no, we're trapped here. These people's faces were gloomy as they began to discuss a way to break out. On the other side, on Lin Xian's side. With Lin Xian as the leader, they began to break the 8 trigrams array under their feet. Many of them were unwilling, but there was nothing they could do. They could not break out of the array, so they could only rely on Lin Xian. Lin Xian was not polite to these people. These people had wanted to capture him and force him to break the array. How could he be polite to these people? Especially the people from Fei Imperial Palace, 9 Heavens Sacred Ground, and the Yinyang sect. He would pay special attention to them. Whoosh! Lin Xian stood up, and a golden light flashed in his eyes as he looked around with rapt attention. Although the Crimson Dragon was not by his side, his attainments in array formations were still very powerful. It was not impossible for him to break out of the 8 trigrams array. Lin Xian carefully deduced. His eyes flickered as he took strange steps forward and walked 3 meters forward. For a moment, everything was peaceful. That surprised everyone. At the same time, they became excited. Because previously, they would be blocked by the array formation if they walked 1 meter forward. But now, the other party could walk 3 meters forward. And they did not receive any warnings of danger or strange things. That made them believe that the other party was right. Perhaps the other party could really break out of the array formation. For a moment, everyone's confidence increased greatly. 3 meters forward, Lin Xian stopped and did not walk any further. He sensed a mysterious aura floating in the air. Now, his soul was still recovering, so he used the heavenly secret divine eyes. A golden light appeared. He found that there was indeed a dangerous aura around him. Chapter 2479. In the next moment, he did not leave immediately. Instead, he turned around and pointed at a yin-yang sect martial artist. "Come here." "What do you want?" The yin-yang sect martial artist trembled. He suspected that the other party was going to attack him. Lin Xian snorted coldly. "Cut the crap. Do as I say. Walk 2 meters forward and 1 meter to the left." "Damn it, you want to experiment on me?" The yin-yang sect martial artist immediately understood. How could he be willing to be a lab rat? That was why he was extremely unwilling. "What a coward!" Lin Xian sneered when he saw the other party's cowardice. "What are you afraid of? Is this formation dangerous? I didn't see anyone getting killed when you were wandering around. You're unwilling to do something so trivial? Don't forget that there are so many people around you waiting for you." Sure enough, the surrounding people also looked over with sullen expressions on their faces. The yin-yang sect martial artist's expression turned ugly when he saw those gazes. He was so angry that he gritted his teeth. To be honest, even though there was no danger, he was still unhappy. How dare he order me around? What a joke! He's not an elder of the yin-yang sect, nor is he their holy son. What right does he have to order me around? However, he had no choice. The yin-yang sect disciple could feel the pressure from the people around him. He could only brace himself and walk forward according to Lin Xian's instructions. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and nodded in satisfaction when he saw that. No matter how arrogant they have no choice but to listen to me. If I tell them to walk, they will walk. If I tell them to stop, they will stop. It felt as if he was the leader of those sacred grounds, and their disciples had to listen to him. It was exhilarating. The martial artist braced himself and followed Lin Xian's instructions. He walked a few steps and stopped. Lin Xian's eyes flickered. There was no problem. He continued to walk forward. 2 meters forward and 1 meter to the right. The yin-yang sect disciple walked again. However, at that moment, a flame suddenly rose from under his feet and enveloped him. "Ah!" The disciple screamed in agony. However, the flame was not fatal. It was quickly extinguished by the yin-yang sect disciple. However, his face was covered in dust, his body was pitch black, and his hair was standing on end. He looked very strange. "Damned bastard! Can you do it or not?" Seeing this scene, the yin-yang sect cultivators behind him roared furiously. He felt that the other party was clearly toying with them. Lin Xian coldly snorted. "What's the hurry? This array formation is so difficult to break. Did I say I could succeed in one try? If you think you can do it, then come on." Hearing this, those people were so angry that they vomited blood. If they knew how to do it, they wouldn't need to listen to him. This made them gnash their teeth in anger. "Humph," Lin Xian said with a frown. "Stop making a fuss. You can't even handle a little flame? Are you people from the yin-yang sect trash? Was this how he usually cultivated? A little flame?" That disciple was so angry that he almost vomited blood. What the f***ck? This is the tomb of a saint. Who knows what will come out of it? They hadn't forgotten the terror brought about by the heads of 99 invincible kings. Cut the crap and continue to attack. Lin Xian ignored the yin-yang sect members and turned to look at the Fei's sovereign palace. He pointed at the tree demon from before. The tree demon's face instantly turned green. He had barely escaped death, and the lower half of his body was slowly recovering. Asking him to scout the path now? What a joke! He wouldn't do it even if he was beaten to death. You don't want to go? Sure, get lost in front of me now. Lin Xian shouted coldly. You! The tree demon was so angry that he vomited blood. There was nothing he could do. The people around him were all glaring at him. He gritted his teeth and walked according to the path that Lin Xian pointed out. After a few steps, a bolt of lightning struck his head and almost split him in half. Ah! The tree demon screamed and rolled around crazily. Seeing this, the people from the Fey Sovereign Palace roared crazily. The others were also very nervous. On the other hand, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He silently deduced and then walked another meter forward. In the next moment, he pointed at the people from the 9 heavens sacred ground again. You and you, walk forward separately. 3 meters to the right, 2 meters to the left. The martial artists from the 9 heavens sacred ground also braced themselves and walked forward. They wanted nothing more than to skin the other party alive. But they had no choice. They still walked forward. Among them, the one on the left was fine. The one on the right suddenly disappeared. After waiting for about half an incense stick's time, he finally appeared. As soon as he appeared, he knelt on the ground, his face pale. Obviously, he had encountered something extremely terrifying. Damn it, I quit. I quit even if you beat me to death! He roared crazily. Get back here! What a disgrace! The 9 heaven saint's face darkened. He slapped the other party unconscious and threw him to the back. Look after him, and don't let him embarrass himself. When he wakes up, give him pills to eat. The people from the 9 heavens sacred ground quickly helped him up. The 9 heavens saint said in a low voice. Damn kid, can you do it or not? I feel that you are definitely taking revenge on us. As soon as he said that, the people from the Yin-Yang sect and Fey Sovereign Palace gritted their teeth and stared at Lin Xian with cold killing intent in their eyes. Lin Xian, on the other hand, walked another 2 meters forward. He turned around and looked at those people with a disdainful smile. Can I do it or not? If you have the ability, just walk to this place. Let's see if you or I can do it. As soon as he said that, everyone fell silent. Indeed, the distance that the other party had traveled was much further than the total distance that they had traveled. This meant that his method was feasible. However, it was too dangerous to use the martial artists from the sacred ground to scout the way. Seeing that everyone was hesitating, Lin Xian sneered. Why? You don't dare to do it? So far, although there have been dangers and attacks, has anyone been killed? Don't worry, this 8 trigrams formation won't kill anyone. Also, those idiots from the 9 heavens sacred ground and Fey Sovereign Palace, didn't you wear armor and shields when you left? It would be strange if you didn't get struck by lightning. Damn it! Hearing that, the people from the 9 heavens sacred ground almost vomited blood. You, and you, come forward! Next, Lin Xian called many people. Without exception, these people were all the people who had gone against him before. Lin Xian naturally wouldn't let them go. Sure enough, when these people went up, most of them were attacked. Some were struck by lightning, some were burned by fire, and some were directly teleported away. They were so scared that they screamed. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian sneered in his heart. Who asked these people to go against me? Now they are paying for it. Sure enough, the faces of the Black Yak and the people from the Yin-Yang sect turned green. Just like that, they walked for 3 days and 3 nights in fear. Finally, they approached the bronze cauldron. At this time, except for Wuhua and those who hadn't gone against Lin Xian before, the others were covered in wounds. Most importantly, they were listless and pale, as if they had been frightened. Chapter 2480. The 9th Firmament Saint and the Black Yak were also struck by lightning 3 times. Fortunately, they were strong enough to avoid injury. However, this made them so angry that their lungs were about to explode. This damned brat, this was definitely a clear retaliation against them. However, there was nothing they could do. However, they were relieved that they had finally arrived near the bronze tripod cauldron. It seemed that the 8 trigrams formation would be broken soon. Humph, damn it. When we get the treasure in the bronze tripod cauldron, We must kill this brat. The ninth firmament saint gnashed his teeth. The black yak's face was also gloomy. He would not let him go. Amitabha. Wu Hua smiled. Brother Lin, we have to thank you this time. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't have been able to break the 8 trigrams formation. It's nothing. It's all thanks to everyone. Lin Xian glanced at everyone. Sensing this gaze, those people who had been struck by lightning earlier nearly went mad with anger. F***CK. This guy is too infuriating. I really want to kill him. Those who had not been struck by lightning could not help but laugh. They could see that Lin Xian was deliberately targeting those people. All right, everyone, get ready to break the last formation, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. Hearing this, everyone stopped laughing and looked forward with rapt attention. When they reached forward, 8 trigrams appeared around them, forming a circle to protect the bronze tripod cauldron. The 8 trigrams were a very mysterious pattern. It had a special connection with heaven and earth. As soon as the 8 trigrams appeared, the surrounding atmosphere changed. It became dignified, as if countless mountains were pressing on their hearts. Everyone, let's attack together, Lin Xian said in a deep voice. His eyes were shining with a piercing sword light. Okay. Wu Hua stood in front of an 8 trigrams. The ninth firmament saint snorted and also stood in front of an 8 trigrams. The Black Yak, the Yin-Yang sect people, and other experts all chose an 8 trigrams. On the count of 3, they attacked together. Lin Xian pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword. The sword light on his body became sharper and sharper. 1, 2, 3, attack! The great dragon sword soul in his body roared and broke out a powerful attack. The ancient dragon abyss sword swung, tearing the sky and earth apart. It was as if it could destroy everything. Wu Hua struck out with his palm. His golden palm shone as if a Buddha had been reborn. His terrifying power was truly frightening. The saint of the 9 firmaments roared. He was burly and a celestial palace appeared above his head. He grabbed it and smashed it forward. At this moment, he was like a demon king, incomparably valiant. The Black Yak was even more berserk. The demonic aura on his body was monstrous as he swung his black fists. He was like a peerless demon king, causing the entire world to tremble. Experts from the Yin-Yang sect, the Illusion Palace, and the Nangong family also attacked with their ultimate divine powers. In an instant, a terrifying energy burst out, emitting a terrifying light that enveloped everyone. Even though the first 8 diagrams were strong, under the bombardment of so many experts of the Heaven sect, cracking sounds could be heard. Pung! Finally, it could no longer withstand the pressure and burst open. This is great! Everyone waved their hands and tore apart the energy storm. Their eyes were like sharp divine swords that pierced through the void and stared at the bronze cauldron in front of them. However, their eyes and souls could not see through it at all. They could only go forward and take a look. A group of people stepped forward one after another. Their bodies shone with light. Some activated their king domains, while others activated their battle armors. They were afraid that they would be ambushed. The dragon sword domain also appeared above Lin Xian's divine body and enveloped him. Terrifying sword chi surrounded him. He took a step forward and looked inside. Beside him, Wu Hua, the saint of the 9 firmaments, the Black Yak, and the people of the Yin-Yang sect did the same. However, in the next moment, they all recognized it. There was no elixir in the bronze cauldron as they had imagined. Instead, there was a corpse. It was a headless corpse. The corpse was very withered, and the armor on his body was broken. It was obvious that he had experienced countless years. However, there were a few treasures on this person that were not damaged. There was a necklace on his neck and a ring on his finger. Although they were not shining, they were still intact. At first glance, they were definitely earth-shattering treasures. Everyone's scalps went numb. The armor was very ancient, and this person did not have a head. What was going on? Could it be that his head was placed in the bronze cauldron? Heavens, could it be that he was an invincible king? These people quickly deduced that the bronze cauldron they had encountered earlier had the heads of 99 invincible kings. Now that they had found a headless corpse, they trembled. Could there really be 99 headless corpses in this ancient tomb? Why would they do that? Why would they separate the heads from the corpses? Were these corpses dangerous? They did not know. However, from the looks of it, they should not be in much danger. That was because they had not been threatened in any way. What should they do? These people discussed with each other. Although there were no pills, the treasures on the corpse made their eyes go red with envy. Especially the ring, which was very likely to be the storage ring of an invincible king. The treasures inside were definitely beyond imagination. It could be said that it was a treasure trove. However, no one dared to act rashly. After all, it was the corpse of an invincible king in the tomb of a sage. Who knew what would happen? Therefore, they were careful. Just as they were thinking of a way to take it, someone suddenly roared. "Damn it! Put it down!" It was a person from the Yin-Yang sect. He found that there were many purple tree trunks in the bronze cauldron. They enveloped the 5 corpses, and a few of the tree trunks even attacked the necklace and ring. "Damn it, it's that tree demon!" The people from the 9 heavens sacred ground were also angry. The others' faces were gloomy, and their eyes were red. "That damn tree demon! How dare you snatch food from the tiger's mouth? Do you want to die?" The tree demon laughed sinisterly. "Haha, you're all mine!" He was too excited because his branches had already wrapped around the necklace and ring. As long as he exerted some force, he would be able to take them back. At that time, they would be able to retreat quickly. The black yak snorted coldly. He guarded the tree demon and looked around disdainfully. "Whoever dares to make a move, don't blame me for blowing your head off." Seeing this scene, many people's faces turned ugly. Because they had seen the black yak's strength before. It was definitely at the level of a saint. It was very terrifying. Especially the black yak's horns, which were even more terrifying. They were probably weapons that could destroy everything. For a moment, they did not dare to make a move. The 9 heavens saint snorted coldly. He was not afraid of the black yak. Lin Xian's eyes were also cold. The sword chi on his body exploded again, and a golden light appeared in his eyes. Just as they were about to make a move, the tree demon screamed. "Damn it, who did this?" The black yak roared. His voice was like thunder, and it shook the blood of the people around him. Chapter 2481. Those people's faces were pale and full of fear. The black yak was too terrifying. Lin Xian's sword chi burst out, blocking the sword wave attack. On the other side, the 9 firmament saints' palace was shining. Wahua's body was full of golden light, looking extremely sacred. A few of them blocked it. But the others all took a few steps back. The purple tree demon said in a trembling voice. He caught me. Who caught me?" Hearing the tree demon's words, everyone looked over. In the next moment, they were stunned. Because they found that a dried-up, zombie-like hand had caught the tree demon. These people gasped. Could it be that the headless corpse had come back to life? They didn't know, but they felt a chill all over their bodies. Many people took a few steps back, their faces full of fear. Lin Xian, Wuhua, the 9 firmament saint, and the black yak stared at the headless corpse. The tree demon screamed crazily. He waved his purple trunk, trying to pull it back. But he couldn't do it at all. This scene was even more shocking. One had to know that the tree demon was also a top master, but at this moment, he couldn't pull it back. One could imagine how terrifying this dried-up hand was. "Damn it! Let go of me!" The black yak roared and punched out. It was earth-shattering and blasted forward. Not to mention a dried-up corpse, one side of the world would probably explode. However, just as his black fist approached the bronze cauldron and touched the dried-up corpse, white mist suddenly appeared from the headless corpse and wrapped around the black fist. This earth-shattering punch seemed to have hit cotton. It couldn't exert any power at all. Not good, retreat. There was something wrong with this corpse. Everyone retreated crazily. Even the black yak couldn't do anything to it. It could be imagined that it was beyond their range. As soon as they retreated, the mist spread from the black fist and shrouded the surroundings in an instant, shrouding everyone. Everyone felt as if they were in the clouds. There was a vast expanse around them, and they couldn't see anything at all. Even his soul power was being suppressed. Damn it, it was too strange. These people's expressions were ugly. They were extremely regretful. In the future, even if they were beaten to death, they would never look for this kind of bronze cauldron again. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Sword Qi revolved around his body, blocking the white mist. On the other side, golden light shone. Apparently, Wu Hua was also resisting. Boom! At this moment, a deep and ancient voice suddenly resounded in the world, as if it had crossed over from the primeval times. Between heaven and earth, it was boundless and invisible. This voice rang in everyone's ears, causing their hearts to beat wildly. Buzz, buzz, buzz. They felt a mysterious power surging towards them. The world was spinning, and they seemed to have lost all ability to move. Even his consciousness was blurred. Not good. Damn it! Amitabha! Cries of surprise could be heard as Lin Xian also felt this mysterious power. He instantly opened his heavenly secret divine eyes. Mysterious golden runes flickered in his eyes, but he was too late. If he had been a moment earlier, perhaps he would have been able to see everything clearly. But now, all he could see was that the corpse in the bronze cauldron seemed to have moved. After that, he could no longer sense anything. When he woke up, he saw the blue sky, white clouds, and forests everywhere. They seemed to have walked out of the ancient tomb. Lin Xian was the first to wake up. His body was running wildly, and the golden light in his eyes swept in all directions. He saw that there were many people around him. They were all with him, ready to snatch the bronze cauldron. Wu Hua, who was next to him, stood up and chanted Amitabha. His body was surrounded by golden light. The 9 firmament saint and the black yak also stood up. The other experts gradually woke up as well. When they looked around and saw the unfamiliar scene, they all exclaimed, "Damn it, where is this? Have we been teleported out? Heavens, no way! Are you saying that we've left the ancient tomb?" These people screamed crazily, their faces full of despair. What kind of joke was this? It was not easy for them to come to the depths of the ancient tomb. But now, they had been teleported back. Furthermore, what was even more detestable was that they had no idea where they were. No, they had to get out of here quickly. Find someone and ask where we are. We have to enter the ancient tomb again. Those from the Yin-Yang sect and the 9 firmament sacred ground gritted their teeth. They would not give up this opportunity for nothing. Even if they were teleported out, they would go in again. Brother Lin, what do you think? Wu Hua turned his head and looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian did not say anything. His eyes flickered as he stared at the tree demon. Buzz! A sharp light burst out from his eyes. I think we should get rid of this guy first. As soon as he said that, everyone's eyes turned to the purple tree demon. The purple tree demon trembled, and the leaves on his body trembled. He screamed, "What do you want? What do you want? If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be in this damn place." Lin Xian snorted coldly. "That's right. Kill this guy." Those from the Yin-Yang sect also shouted angrily. Those from the 9 firmament sacred ground were even more murderous. They had to kill this guy. Otherwise, he might cause trouble. "How dare you!" The black yak roared and stepped forward. With a stomp of his foot, the ground cracked and shook. The demon clan experts behind him were also furious and murderous. However, this time, the Demon King Palace had angered everyone. Therefore, no matter how strong the black yak was, he could not resist. In the end, Lin Xian restrained the black yak, while the 9 firmament saint and the others restrained the experts of the Demon King Palace. As for the others, they blasted the purple tree demon into pieces. Ah! The black yak and the experts of the Demon King Palace roared crazily, but there was nothing they could do. "Damn it! Just you wait. We will remember this!" The black yak snorted coldly. "Let's go!" The experts of the Demon King Palace soared into the sky and disappeared. How about it? Do you still want to join forces? Seeing that the people of the Demon King Palace had left, Lin Xian looked at the people of the Nine Firmament Sacred Ground and the Yin-Yang sect with a smile. Seeing this smile, the martial artists of the Sacred Grounds trembled. They remembered that they had been ordered by this person to investigate the unknown array. At that time, they were all charred black. Therefore, even if they were beaten to death, they were unwilling to walk together with this guy in front of them. The Nine Firmament Saints snorted coldly. No need. Kid, you're on your own. Don't let me see you again. Next time, I won't let you off so easily. With that, the Nine Firmament Saint also left with his people. Then, the others left one after another. Only Lin Xian and Wu Hua were left. Brother Lin, what do you think? Wu Hua had not spoken before. He only asked when everyone had left. Chapter 2482. Brother Lin, what do you think? Wu Hua didn't say anything until everyone left. Only then did he ask. I don't think we were teleported out. Lin Xian said something shocking. If others were here, they would definitely cry out in surprise. Unfortunately, those people had left. They didn't know that Lin Xian had the terrifying heavenly secret divine eyes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have left so easily. Sure enough, you're not far from my guess. Wu Hua also sighed. One flower, one world. We didn't leave the ancient tomb, but we entered a mysterious space. The ancient tomb of a saint is indeed mysterious. There are traps everywhere. If we don't handle it well, we might be trapped here for the rest of our lives. Lin Xian also frowned. He said in a low voice. But there's a problem. Did our bodies enter a strange space, or did we fall into an illusion? Wu Hua carefully sensed it, then shook his head. I can't feel it either. Brother Lin, what about you? Can you feel it? Lin Xian also shook his head. I can't feel it either. Unless we really entered a strange space, or the illusion is so powerful that it's beyond our imagination. But no matter which it is, it's not good for us. Lin Xian sighed. He tried to open the heavenly secret divine eyes, but he didn't find anything. It could only be said that if it was an illusion, it was too powerful, exceeding his current strength. It seems like we can only walk around and look for it. Lin Xian and Wu Hua discussed for a while. They also rose into the air and flew into the distance. While they were exploring this unknown spatial world, the outside world had also undergone earth-shattering changes. Among them, the most leisurely was the snow-white little monkey. It stayed by the Alkid Saint's side for the time being, so it didn't face any danger. Moreover, the little guy ate an endless amount of natural treasures. Its stomach was round like a ball. The Crimson Dragon also had a good time. It didn't encounter any danger along the way, but it met many people. These people all wanted to kill it. After all, quite a few of them hated Immortal Palace greatly. However, the strength of the Crimson Dragon was far beyond their imagination. As long as it wasn't someone at the level of a holy sun, the other experts would all be slapped to the ground. He sealed it up and then obediently became its pet. In the end, there were 9 pets behind the Crimson Dragon. They were called the 9 lackeys. These 9 people even had the heart to die. However, they couldn't even die now. On the other side, in Murong Qingqing, where Xingtian was, a great battle broke out. Now that the battle had come to an end, those crazy martial artists had all been subdued. Those that couldn't be controlled were killed on the spot. Blood dyed the area red. It was extremely terrifying. The others were also gasping for breath, their faces pale. They lowered their heads, not daring to look at the paintings around them, because they were afraid that they would go crazy again. Damn it, what is this place? Why was it so strange? Murong Qingqing's face was also cold. I wonder how Chiu and Brother Xian are doing? She was indeed worried about the two of them. Especially Xinjingqiu. Although she was powerful, she didn't have enough combat experience. If there were no experts around to protect her, she would be in danger. Indeed, Xinjingqiu was now in great danger. The entire passage was extremely dark. There was no light at all. The Alcade Holy Sun and the Prince of Great Xia couldn't get out of this predicament. Moreover, what was worse was that they were completely trapped now. The passage was extremely dark. They couldn't even see their own fingers. They couldn't find a way out. Fortunately, Xinjingqiu had two experts, Peacock and Hui Dao, by her side. Therefore, they weren't in any danger for the time being. The others were also relieved. Although they were trapped, their lives were not in danger at the moment. In this way, as long as they searched carefully and patiently, they might be able to find a way out. However, this was a good idea. However, about 2 hours later, a scream sounded in the dark passage. Hearing it, these people's scalps went numb. Who was it? Damn it, what happened? Tell us quickly! An expert roared. They couldn't see now, and their souls could only be within a range of 1 or 2 meters. They couldn't see anything further. Therefore, they didn't know who was screaming. What the hell happened? In the darkness, no one answered them. Damn it, could it be that they were killed? The Alcade Holy Sun roared angrily. He threw out the holy light ball. The terrifying holy light ball spun. However, it couldn't emit any light. There was only terrifying energy that slapped in all directions like waves. A few martial artists who were close to it were forced back. This scene made the Alcade Holy Sun's face darken. In his entire life, he had never encountered such a strange thing. What was in this passage? How could it suppress all the light? Ah! Another scream sounded. It came from 4 or 5 meters away from the Alcade Holy Sun. The Alcade Holy Sun was also frightened. His soul couldn't catch it either. He could only turn around and stare coldly ahead. Who was it? Come out! However, still no one answered. The passage was quiet. Only the sound of these people's heartbeats and breathing could be heard. Other than that, there was nothing else. Whoosh! At this moment, the Prince of Great Xia suddenly frowned. He suddenly felt a gust of cold wind behind him. Then, it seemed that someone was lying next to him, panting. Damn it! Get lost! The Prince of Great Xia roared angrily and threw out a palm. However, this thing seemed to be lying on his body, so his palm missed. Roar! The Prince of Great Xia shouted coldly. The aura of the Path of Dragon burst out and wrapped around his body. A loud dragon roar shook the 9 heavens. In an instant, the thing lying on his body was blasted away. It hit the wall and disappeared in an instant. What happened? Hearing the dragon roar, the others were shocked. Could it be that the royal family was also attacked? The Prince of Great Xia warned loudly. Be careful, there is an unknown creature. Unknown creature? What is it? Damn it, there is indeed something. Everyone was panicking. Ah! Xinjingqiu shouted. She threw out a palm and instantly slapped something away. Just now, she felt that someone was attacking her. Perhaps it was that unknown creature. Miss Xin, are you all right? Peacock asked with concern. She knew the relationship between Xinjingqiu and their hallmaster. Therefore, when Xinjingqiu attacked, they were very nervous. Xinjingqiu shook her head. I'm fine, Sister Peacock. This thing can't hurt me. Brother Yu, it seems that we can only use our trump card. After knowing that the unknown creature had appeared, the Alcade Holy Sun said coldly. The Prince of Great Xia nodded. Everyone, if you have any tricks up your sleeves, just use them. Don't hide them anymore. Otherwise, we won't be able to get out. The Prince of Great Xia said loudly. Chapter 2483. Show me all the means you have. Otherwise, we won't be able to get out of here. The Prince of the Great Xia dynasty said loudly. At the same time, the aura of the Tao of Dragon on his body became stronger and stronger, and the roar of a dragon resounded in the void. The Alcade Saint used some kind of secret technique, and a torrential force suddenly surged from his body. 108 phantoms of gods and demons appeared in the sky, and a mysterious voice sounded between heaven and earth. This time, the void was finally illuminated. The prince of the great Xia dynasty's Tao of Dragon aura turned into a true dragon and tore the darkness apart. Light shone in. Seeing this scene, everyone exclaimed, "Great! As expected of the two top saints. They are indeed terrifying." Buzz, buzz, buzz. Heaven and earth trembled, and 9 purple runes suddenly rushed out of Shinjinchio's body and surrounded her. In an instant, they also illuminated a part of the world. The others also exclaimed, "God, the saintess of the Xixia Holy Land is also so terrifying." Previously, some people had seen Shinjinchio fight. In their opinion, her strength had reached the level of a saintess, but she was inexperienced. But now it seemed that it was far from the truth. She had an even more terrifying trump card. These 9 mysterious runes were too terrifying. They fixed a part of the sky and emitted a power that made these experts tremble. The power of bloodline! She must have the power of bloodline! Otherwise, it was impossible to be so terrifying. Everyone was shocked, and even the prince of the great Xia dynasty and the Alcade saint looked over. They also had a dignified look in their eyes, but they didn't know what bloodline the other party had. The 3 top geniuses illuminated the passage. This time, they could finally identify the path. The group of people moved forward again. Everyone moved forward in the dangerous and difficult situation. In addition, in the mysterious space world, Lin Xian and Wu Hua also flew for a while. Below them was a vast forest, and the river was surging. It was a magnificent scene, but there was no one. They didn't even see a demonic beast. This made them frown. This place is too strange. Why isn't there even a demonic beast? Wu Hua was puzzled, and Lin Xian's expression was even more solemn. He transmitted his voice. "Brother Wu Hua, do you feel that someone is spying on us?" "I do feel that way." Wu Hua also responded. Lin Xian's frown deepened. He had the heavenly secret divine eyes, so this feeling was the strongest. He felt as if there were countless pairs of eyes watching them. Damn it, what the hell is this? What is this place? The silence around them made them feel uneasy. Lin Xian even activated his Tianji God eyes, and a trace of golden light appeared in his eyes. He scanned his surroundings but did not find anything out of the ordinary. However, when he saw the white clouds surrounding him in the sky, he frowned. He struck out with his palm like a flying dragon, blowing away the surrounding clouds. Lin Xian's feeling of being spied on instantly disappeared. Wu Hua was astonished, and his eyes began to shine. Could it be that there was something wrong with these white clouds? When the 2 of them stopped, Wu Hua also raised his hand. His golden palms swept in all directions, creating countless gusts of wind that blew away the surrounding white clouds. Sure enough, when the white clouds dissipated, the feeling of being spied on disappeared. The 2 of them increasingly felt that there was something wrong with these white clouds. "Do you still remember the white mist that emerged from the headless corpse when we were trapped? It was that white mist that brought us to this space. I think that white mist should be the key. These white clouds may be inextricably linked to the white mist. Or even the entire world." Lin Xian voiced his conjecture. Wu Hua, who was beside him, nodded in agreement. "That's right, but we still don't know what this white mist is. Let's keep going. Maybe we can find someone, and then we can ask." They flew for about a day and a night. Lin Xian and Wu Hua did not know how many thousands of miles they had flown. Finally, more and more white clouds appeared in front of them, as if forming a white barrier between heaven and earth. Buzz! Lin Xian raised his hand, and a sword light slashed forward. Wu Hua also clapped his golden palm, and a terrifying energy struck the white barrier. The white clouds were torn apart, and a large crack appeared. The 2 of them quickly entered the crack. After entering, the scene did not change. It was still a big river, and a forest. It was the same as before. However, Lin Xian and Wu Hua were pleasantly surprised, because they saw a person on a mountain peak in the distance. There was finally someone. The 2 of them were overjoyed. They sped up, turned into 2 streams of light, and flew over. They found that it was a young man. He wore cotton clothes, carried a bamboo basket on his back, and held a hoe in his hand. It seemed that he was picking herbs. The two of them moved like lightning, and in an instant, they arrived near the mountain peak and descended. There was a whistling sound, and the trees in the surrounding forest swayed with the wind. Below, the young man in cotton clothes raised his head. When he saw two figures descending from the sky, the young man's expression changed. He turned and ran as if he had seen ghosts. This person could not fly, nor did he use any powerful abilities. He just ran on foot. However, this scene also surprised Lin Xian and Wu Hua. The other party did not seem to have any strength, but his physical fitness was not that of an ordinary person. With a light leap, he jumped dozens of meters high. With his speed, he could run thousands of meters in 2 or 3 steps. In the end, they even saw with their own eyes that the young man directly jumped over a mountain peak. Although in the eyes of Lin Xian and Wu Hua, it was nothing. However, compared to an ordinary person, it was indeed extraordinary. Wu Hua stretched out his palm, and a golden palm enveloped that person like a cloud. That person screamed in fright and rushed around, but he could not break free at all. It would be strange if the other party broke free. Lin Xian and Wu Hua flew forward. However, halfway back, the two of them were stunned, because they found that the young man in front of them had escaped. What a joke, he had escaped from Wu Hua's hands. This time, it surprised them again. Wu Hua was a holy son. Ordinary mighty figures could not escape from his hands at all. However, a young man with little strength escaped easily. Of course, the other party's escape method also amazed Lin Xian and Wu Hua. The young man in cotton clothes who was trapped in the Five Fingers Mountain suddenly turned into clouds of white mist and drifted towards the cracks in the surroundings. The mist passed through the cracks and escaped the Five Fingers Mountain. Then, outside the Five Fingers Mountain, it condensed again and turned into a human shape. Whoosh! The young man ran away again with large strides. It was strange that this guy was related to the mist. Lin Xian and Wu Hua looked at each other. They felt that the young man was too suspicious. They had to catch him. Chapter 2484. Buzz. Lin Xian raised his hand, and countless sword lights formed a sword curtain that completely shrouded the young man. The young man frantically slapped the sword curtain and was sent flying. His body turned into white mist and he wanted to pass through. But this time, he failed to do so. Instead, when the white mist touched the sword light, it made a sizzling sound. Ah! The young man screamed and once again condensed into his human form and rolled on the ground. Whoosh whoosh. 2 rays of light. Lin Xian and Wu Hua came to the side of the sword curtain and frowned as they looked at the young man in linen clothes who was rolling on the ground. They said coldly, "Who are you? Damn it, who are you? Why did you come to our homeland?" The young man in linen clothes roared crazily on the ground. Obviously, he was very angry. "Foreigners, get out of our homeland!" "Foreigners?" Hearing this, the two of them frowned. Lin Xian asked coldly, "So you should have seen other foreigners? Where are they? You foreigners are not good people." The young man in linen clothes gritted his teeth. Suddenly, the ground in the distance trembled, and more than a dozen figures ran non-stop like apes. They jumped high, crossed a few hundred meters of the mountain peak, and then landed on the ground. Their bodies were very agile, and it made one suspect that these people had a special body tempering technique. However, their bodies could turn into white mist. What kind of supernatural power was that? Bloodline power? Or some other means? They didn't know yet. In an instant, the dozen or so black dots in the distance arrived nearby. It turned out that they were also these people. They were dressed in linen clothes, and it seemed that they were the same race as the young man in linen clothes. "Stop! Don't hurt our people!" A middle-aged man roared crazily. They were very fast, and in an instant, they arrived near Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Lin Xian and Wu Hua didn't make a move. They looked up ahead. In front of them, these people were dressed in linen clothes. Their eyes were solemn, and there was a hint of fear on their faces. Between their eyebrows, there were a few strange marks that looked like clouds. However, some of them had one cloud, while others had two. Lin Xian looked and saw that the tallest one had 5 auspicious clouds. This was an old man with a head full of white hair and a hunched back. However, he didn't look weak at all. When he jumped the highest, which was 500 to 600 meters. As for the middle-aged man who spoke, there were 4 auspicious clouds between his eyebrows. "Please don't attack, please don't hurt us." The middle-aged man stepped forward and said hurriedly. "Amitabha. This penniless monk will not hurt people for no reason," Wu Hua said lightly. Lin Xian also looked at them and asked in a low voice, "Who are you people? Where is this place? How was it related to the ancient tomb? This is where we live." "We are the White Cloud clan. As for the ancient tomb you mentioned, we don't know about it, and have never heard of it," the middle-aged man hurriedly explained. Hearing this, Lin Xian and Wu Hua frowned. The other party only gave one answer to the 3 questions. The White Cloud clan. What kind of race is this? They had never heard of it before? Lin Xian looked at Wu Hua. Wu Hua also shook his head. However, from the looks of it, the other party was telling the truth. The other party's body could turn into white clouds and condense. He must have a special bloodline power. However, Lin Xian and Wu Hua were not satisfied with how the other party described the world as their homeland. "Your homeland should have a name, right?" Lin Xian asked with a frown. There was a flash of sword light in his eyes. Feeling the sharp aura, the White Cloud clan people took a few steps back. Deep fear appeared in their eyes. The middle-aged man said again, "We have lived here for generations. We named this place the White Cloud World. As for what you call it, how would we know? We are here to protect this world. You outsiders probably got some treasure map and came here to look for treasures." "Humph. The White Cloud clan has been here for tens of thousands of years, but we haven't found any treasures. You outsiders, however, came one after another. Treasure? Treasure map?" Lin Xian frowned. Wu Hua's eyes flickered. "In that case, what you are guarding is a treasure. It's just a legend. If you want to believe it, we can't do anything about it. We'll take you there now." "Okay. Lead the way." Lin Xian and Wu Hua were skilled and bold. They were not afraid. They also wanted to see what the legendary treasure was. "What's wrong with these White Cloud clan people?" Lin Xian waved his hand. The sword light that filled the sky disappeared, and the trapped young man in linen clothes was released. He ran to his clansmen with a pale face. The other clansmen waved their hands. "Please follow closely." As they spoke, they ran quickly over the mountains and rivers. They were very fast, but they were nothing in front of Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Lin Xian and Wu Hua flew in the sky and followed behind these people. After flying for about an hour, a village suddenly appeared in front of them. Most of them were built in the mountains. They were all tree houses and wooden houses made of bamboo. They were very simple. There were some fields around the village and some herbs were planted. Figures flashed in the village. They should be the other White Cloud clan people. The entire village was spread across several mountains. There was one in front. The middle-aged man turned around and pointed at the first mountain. Lin Xian nodded and flew over. "Uncle Chi, you're back." Seeing the middle-aged man and the others return, the other people in the village came out to welcome them. They furrowed their brows when they saw Lin Xian and the other man following behind them. "What's going on? Why are there more outsiders? Damn it, how long has it been? There are 3 groups of outsiders." Hearing this, Lin Xian and Wu Hua raised their eyebrows. 3 groups of outsiders? That means there were 2 groups of outsiders before us. They should be the people from 9 Heaven's Holy Ground and Demon King Palace. I wonder who arrived first? Where are those people? When did they arrive? Lin Xian asked. "We are their companions, and we came here together. Those people are on the other 2 mountains." If you didn't tell us, we wouldn't have gathered all of you together. We'll let all of you search for that illusory treasure together. An 8 or 9-year-old child said angrily. On the other two mountains, Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked into the distance. Sure enough, he saw that there were other people on the other two mountains. 9 Heavens Holy Ground, Yin Yang Sect, Demon King Palace, and Illusion Palace are all gathered together. It seems that these guys have joined forces. But that's good too. It'll save them some trouble. If they were together, Lin Xian could continue to trick them. After all, he and Wu Hua were enough to fight against those people. Zhu Zi, Xiao Shanzi, go to the other two mountains and invite those people over, the middle-aged man said. Hearing this, the two 8 or 9-year-old children quickly left. They jumped more than 10 meters. They ran very fast and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Seeing this, Wu Hua asked, "Do you know how to cultivate?" Chapter 2485. Seeing this scene, Wu Hua asked, "Do you know any mystical skills?" "No." The middle-aged man shook his head. The few youths in the village snorted. "If we know any mystical skills, do we need to be afraid of you?" They looked at Lin Xian and Wu Hua with hostility in their eyes. Of course, there was more fear and panic in their eyes. "Don't be afraid. We won't hurt you. We just want to see what the treasure is." Wu Hua chanted Amiba at the side. Lin Xian did not say anything. He slowly spread out his soul and looked around, but he did not find anything suspicious. However, he found that most of the people in the White Cloud clan had 1 or 2 white clouds on their eyebrows. Only a few had more than 3. Lin Xian had only seen 5 on the old man. What did these white clouds represent? Could it be that the more white clouds there were, the stronger they were? The higher they jumped? Or was it related to age? Lin Xian could not figure it out. The White Cloud clan was full of mysteries. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Just as he was guessing and calculating, dozens of figures flew out from the mountain peak in the distance. There were also many people jumping below. Soon, they arrived at the mountain peak. These people were naturally from the 9 Heavens Holy Ground, the Yin Yang Sect, and the Demon Lord Palace. They saw Lin Xian and Wu Hua in the air, and their faces darkened. After landing, the 9 Heavens Saints snorted. "What a stubborn guy!" The people from the Yin Yang Sect and the 9 Heavens Holy Ground seemed to have joined forces. They looked at Lin Xian with hostility. After all, Lin Xian had killed a genius from the Yin Yang Sect. The people from the Demon Lord Palace were also here, but they were obviously independent and did not interact with anyone. They stood alone at the side. Other than that, there were also people from the Illusion Palace and the Nangong family. In short, most of them found the White Cloud clan and came here. After a day or two, these people gathered again. The people from the White Cloud clan retreated and distanced themselves from them. Many young people and children even hid in their houses, only revealing their eyes. They looked at Lin Xian and the other outsiders with fear in their eyes. "Now that everyone is here, you can bring us to see your hidden treasure, right?" The people from the 9 Heavens Holy Ground said coldly. The eyes of those from the Yin Yang Sect, the Illusion Palace, and the Monster Emperor Palace also lit up with passion. Lin Xian and Wu Hua also looked at the middle-aged man. The middle-aged man nodded. "All right, follow me." Seeing this scene, everyone was overjoyed and prepared to move. However, at this moment, a cold shout came from afar. "No! Uncle Chi, you can't take them to that place." This voice was like a clap of thunder, resounding in all directions. Hearing those words, the middle-aged man frowned. The people from the White Cloud clan were also confused. Lin Xian, Wu Hua, the Saint of the 9 Heavens, and the others all looked up. In the distance, a figure that was like a divine red jumped between the mountain peaks. In a few flashes he arrived near them. Shocking Cloud! It was startling Cloud! Brother Jingyun! Many people from the White Cloud clan exclaimed in surprise, especially the young children. They even cheered and ran over. The people from the 9 Heavens Holy Ground and the Yin Yang Sect frowned. What was going on? Why was someone stopping them? They looked unfriendly. Sensing the change in their cold gazes, the middle-aged man from the White Cloud clan also changed his expression. He hurriedly said, Shocking Cloud, what nonsense are you talking about? Don't mess around. Hurry up and leave! Uncle Chi, what I said is true. You really can't take these outsiders there. That place is not a treasure trove. There is no treasure there in the first place. You don't have it? But you're stopping us and not letting us go. Aren't you guilty of something? A person from the Yin Yang sect sneered. The young man called Shocking Cloud took a step forward. He looked at the people from the Yin Yang sect with anger in his eyes. Lin Xian was extremely surprised by this scene, because the people from the White Cloud clan around them were looking at them with fear and wariness. However, this young man did not have any of that. There was only anger in his eyes. There was no fear or wariness at all. This was strange. He focused his gaze on the young man's glabella. In the next moment, Lin Xian's eyelids twitched. 7 auspicious clouds? That was right. There were 7 auspicious clouds between the young man's glabella. He had 2 more auspicious clouds than the old man who had the most auspicious clouds. 7 auspicious clouds, this young man's strength should be the most valiant. Otherwise he would not have been so confident. Lin Xian did not say anything. He quietly observed. The young man in front, Shocking Cloud, said coldly, "Outsiders, I'm warning you. There is no treasure trove at all. That place is the burial ground of countless ancestors of the White Cloud clan. It's the most sacred place. Outsiders like you don't have the right to enter. Shocking Cloud, don't be presumptuous." Seeing that the young man dared to speak to the outsiders in such a manner, the expressions of the middle-aged man and the old men also changed. They hurriedly reprimanded him. However, Shocking Cloud said, "Uncle Chi, you don't have to interfere in this matter. As long as I'm here, I won't allow them to enter." "You won't allow us to enter? Who do you think you are? How dare you block our way?" The people from the Yin Yang sect sneered. The people from the 9 heavens sacred ground stood out. "Kid, I'll give you a chance. Get out of my sight. Otherwise, don't blame me for being rude." The people from the Demon King Palace snorted coldly. "If you continue talking nonsense, not only will we kill you, but we'll also destroy the White Cloud clan." These people from the Demon King Palace had a monstrous demonic aura. They were extremely terrifying. Hearing this, the people from the White Cloud clan were so scared that their faces turned pale. They kept retreating. "No, don't do it! Everyone, please don't do it!" The middle-aged man and the old men around him quickly persuaded them. "We'll definitely bring you there. Please don't do anything to the White Cloud clan. Shocking Cloud, back off. Are you trying to rebel? I've said it before. As long as I'm here, I won't let them pass. Unless they step over my dead body. You want to die? Then I'll fulfill your wish." A martial artist from the 9 heavens sacred ground sneered. He stood out. Previously, they had already investigated these people. Apart from being strong and having a strong physique, these people did not have any other martial skills. Although these people's physiques were extremely strong in the eyes of outsiders, they could not withstand a single blow from the 9 heavens sacred ground. "You're courting death. Die!" The disciple from the 9 heavens sacred ground struck out with his palm, causing the void to explode. His terrifying palm grabbed forward. "Oh no, please stop!" The middle-aged man and the old men shouted crazily. However, they could not stop it. Just this terrifying storm alone was enough to make them continuously retreat. "Sigh!" Wu Hua sighed. He waved his hand and golden light and runes appeared in the sky, covering the surrounding village and protecting the children, young men, and women. It prevented them from being affected by the energy. Otherwise, there would be nothing left of the mountain peak under the storm of energy. Chapter 2486. Jingyun roared, not dodging at all. He threw out a punch as well. Lin Xian could clearly feel the 7 auspicious clouds between Jingyun's eyebrows emitting a brilliant light. Boom! A low sound was heard, and the sky cracked. Several large cracks appeared and spread in all directions. A violent force swept across the area. Fortunately, the village was covered by the Buddha's light, which prevented it from being destroyed. Boom, boom, boom. After the attack, Jingyun took a step back, while the martial artist from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground took 3 steps back. His arm was numb. How could this be? At this moment, the people from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground and the Yin-Yang sect were shocked. They did not expect the other party to be so powerful. Even the people from the White Cloud tribe were shocked. Jingyun, stop! The middle-aged man and the elders were still trying to persuade him. However, they had already fought. How could they stop? Even if they wanted to stop, the people from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground would not let them off. Sure enough, the martial artist from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground gritted his teeth. Damn it, how dare you resist? You're courting death. He was furious. He could not take down a person who did not have any special skills, and was even forced to retreat. This made him feel ashamed. At this moment, his eyes were filled with murderous intent. He swore that he would kill this young man. You despicable outsider, do you think I'm afraid of you? Jingyun roared. He stomped his feet, and cracks appeared in the void around him. This guy is so powerful. The surrounding martial artists were shocked. Look at the 7 auspicious clouds between his eyebrows. Is that the source of his power? Many people discussed. Hearing this, the martial artist from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground's eyes lit up. In the next moment, he waved his hand, and a ray of sword light shot towards Jingyun's eyebrows. Boom! Jingyun roared, and the 7 auspicious clouds on his body shone brightly. He waved his fist and fought against the sword light. Cracks appeared in the void, and the surrounding people were shocked. The disciple from the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground was also powerful. He seemed to be a genius martial artist. He held the killing sword in his hand and moved freely. The two of them exchanged 30 blows. He grabbed an opportunity and appeared behind Jingyun. The terrifying sword she slashed towards Jingyun. If this sword could hit its target, it would definitely be able to slice a person in half. And from the looks of it, Jingyun definitely wouldn't be able to dodge. Sure enough, the sword hit. Seeing this, the people of Nine Heavens Holy Ground smiled. The Yin-Yang sect and Illusion Destroyer Palace also heaved a sigh of relief. However, in the next moment, their expressions froze as they screamed. Impossible! How could this be? The disciple of the Nine Heavens Holy Ground who had attacked Lin Fan was equally stunned. That was because he discovered that his sword had indeed hit its mark. However, the other party's way suddenly turned into white mist. It was as if he had turned into air. Therefore, his sword's strike only hit some of the mist. Damn it, how did this happen? The cultivator was dumbfounded, unable to believe what he had just heard. At this moment, Jingyun turned his head, and a terrifying fist landed on his opponent's body. With a loud bang, the martial artist from the Nine Heavens Holy Ground was sent flying. Clang! He crashed into the surrounding Buddhist light and fell to the ground, vomiting blood. Defeated! How could this be? Everyone was stunned. The faces of the people of Nine Heavens Holy Ground turned ugly. Lin Xian and Wu Hua also furrowed their brows. This guy was really strange. Sure enough, Jingyun could transform into a cloud like the other members of the White Cloud tribe. Moreover, it was a partial transformation. Jingyun was very strong. Looking at his strength, it seemed that he was stronger than the ordinary Almighties. At first, they thought that the White Cloud tribe didn't have any experts. They didn't expect such a powerful young man to appear. It seemed that the White Cloud tribe was indeed strange. Lin Xian and Wu Hua whispered to each other. The others were also shocked. At this moment, all the martial artists and experts stared at each other with eyes as sharp as lightning. Jingyun's strength was beyond their expectations. I've said it before. If you want to go over, you'll have to step over my dead body. Otherwise, you'd better get lost. Jingyun shouted coldly. Hearing this, the surrounding people's faces changed. The Saint of Nine Heavens snorted coldly. He didn't know what was good for him. He took a step forward and a vast amount of energy surged out. Countless cracks appeared in the sky and spread in all directions. Jing Yun's expression was also extremely solemn because he felt a terrifying force rushing towards him. It was as if it was going to tear him into pieces. He was extremely shocked. He didn't expect the young man in front of him to be so powerful. Just one step was enough to create such a terrifying aura. Jing Yun didn't dare to be careless. He shouted angrily and his body turned into white mist to dodge the energy. On the other side, his body reformed. Kill! Jing Yun roared angrily and charged over again. He waved his fist, and it was as if a mountain was descending from the sky. The entire mountain peak was trembling. However, the Saint of Nine Heavens was extremely powerful. He dodged the attack with a flickering light and a passing shadow. At the same time, a palace appeared above his head and descended from the sky. It shrouded Jing Yun in an instant. The immortal palace shone brilliantly and cast down tens of thousands of rays of light, sealing the entire void. Jing Yun's body was also immobilized. Boom! Jing Yun roared angrily and turned into a cloud again, trying to escape. However, he didn't succeed this time. The area enveloped by the immortal palace had completely sealed the void, making it impossible for Jing Yun to escape. Jing Yun had nowhere to hide as the immortal palace descended. Seeing this scene, the middle-aged man and the elders hurriedly shouted, "Please stop! Please don't kill him! We'll take you there!" Humph! The Saint of Nine Heavens snorted coldly, and the immortal palace stopped in midair. The white mist below condensed and transformed into Jing Yun's face again. At this moment, his face was pale, and there was blood at the corner of his mouth. "Hurry up and apologize, Jing Yun. Admit your mistake and retreat. Otherwise, you'll die!" The middle-aged man roared angrily. The young children in the house were also nervous. "Big brother Jing Yun, come back quickly. I've said it before. If you want to go there, you have to defeat me. Haven't you lost yet?" The Saint of Nine Heavens sneered. He stood with his hands behind his back and didn't make a move at all. It was just one immortal palace descending, and Jing Yun was already unable to resist. How dare someone like Jing Yun talk big in front of him? What a joke! "You can try whether I've lost or not. Do you really think your immortal palace can kill me?" Jing Yun said coldly. He wiped the blood at the corner of his mouth with his thumb and smeared it between his eyebrows. Buzz! The 7 auspicious clouds were shrouded in blood, and endless blood light emitted from them. Whoosh! 7 blood-colored auspicious clouds appeared around him and enveloped him. 7 evils blood clouds! You've cultivated such a thing! The middle-aged man was shocked. The elders also exclaimed in surprise. Their faces were filled with fear. They obviously didn't expect Jing Yun to have such a method. Chapter 2487. Ha! Jing Yun ignored him. At this moment, he roared angrily. He opened his palms and lifted the falling immortal palace up. Ha! His strength had increased again. This scene shocked everyone. Even the big black yak from the Demon King Palace frowned. Lin Xian and Wu Hua's eyes were also shining. Interesting. This should be some kind of bloodline superpower, Lin Xian whispered to himself. The 9 firmament saints' face darkened. It seems that if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know how powerful I am. He was angry. He stretched out a finger and pointed forward. Whoosh! A stream of light cut through the void like a comet and flew forward. The void shattered in an instant. Countless black holes appeared around him. This attack was aimed at Jing Yun's forehead. Jing Yun naturally wouldn't sit still and wait for death. The 7 blood clouds around him spun rapidly, emitting endless blood-red light and forming a light screen. Clang! 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 The blood-red light screen shook like waves. The first layer of light was shattered, then the second. However, the third layer of light was able to block this shocking attack. This scene stunned the 9 firmament saint, but the murderous intent in his eyes became sharper. 9 firmament divine palm. At this moment, the 9 firmament saint finally displayed a great superpower. In the sky, 9 huge divine palms descended from the sky like the palms of a giant. The sky and earth collapsed. The palm descended and shrouded Jingyun. The blood-red clouds around Jingyun spun again. The 6th palm of the 9 firmament divine palm had already shattered 7 blood clouds. The 7th palm directly shrouded Jingyun. This palm was about to smash him into a bloody mist. Jingyun's face was pale. He didn't expect his opponent's palm technique to be so powerful. The White Cloud clan was even more shocked. At this critical moment, Lin Xian made his move. He flicked his finger, and a sword wave flew out. Buzz! This sword wave hit the 7th palm, causing it to stop in the sky. Seizing this opportunity, Jing Yun's figure flashed, and he retreated. Damn it, who is it? How dare you stop our saint? The people of the 9 heavens' holy ground roared madly. The 9 firmaments saint turned his head and stared at Lin Xian. What is the meaning of this? He's already lost, so there's no need to kill him. He'll probably take us there anyway, Lin Xian said indifferently. There was another reason why he saved the young man. He was afraid that the White Cloud clan would react violently if the young man was killed. That would be very disadvantageous to them. That was why he had taken action. Since when was it your turn to tell me what to do? The 9 firmament saint looked displeased. Lin Xian sneered. Is that so? Your memory is really bad. Just a few days ago, I ordered you to go east and west. At that time, didn't you also listen obediently? Now, why are you pretending in front of me? You! The 9th firmament saint was so angry that he wanted to vomit blood. A few days ago, in order to break the 8 trigrams formation, he was indeed very unhappy with the other party's command. But at that time, for the sake of the treasure, he could only endure. Who would have thought that the other party would bring up old matters again? He was so angry that his teeth itched. He even wanted to attack Lin Xian. But at this time, Jingyun sighed. All right, you win. You can go to the treasure. Hearing this, the 9 firmament saint stopped in his tracks and did not attack again. A smile appeared on Lin Xian's face. Very well, lead the way then. Everyone, please follow me. The middle-aged man sighed. He and a few other elders led the way. Jingyun also followed. The group left the mountain and headed into the distance. After about 7 or 8 mountains, they finally arrived at a valley. The valley was quiet and lush, but there were no animals, not to mention beasts or humans. At this moment, there was an altar in the south of the valley. Although it was old, it was very clean. The people of the White Cloud clan must have come here often to clean. So this is where the treasure is hidden? The people of the 9 firmament holy ground asked. The people of the Yin-Yang sect also looked around. At this moment, everyone began to search the entire valley, but they did not find anything. Everyone follow me. The middle-aged man did not say anything and led the way. Soon, they arrived in front of the altar. Lin Xian and the others looked carefully and found that the altar was very old. There were mysterious runes on it that looked like fog and clouds. It was very lively. The middle-aged man and the others knelt on the ground and kowtowed to the altar. When they kowtowed 8 times, the altar shone brightly. The clouds on it seemed to have come alive and kept moving. Behind the altar, there was a rumbling sound. Inside was the place where the treasures were hidden. Looking at the door slowly opening, the middle-aged man and the others stood up and pointed forward. Lin Xian, Wuhua, the 9 firmament saint, and the others narrowed their eyes. They looked forward. They did not enter, but used their souls to check. However, there seemed to be a mysterious force behind the door that prevented their souls from entering. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light. He activated his heavenly secret divine eyes and could only see a few meters ahead. It was dark inside and looked very old. He could not see any danger for the time being. We're not familiar with this place, so you guys lead the way, the 9 firmament saint said coldly. He was also afraid that the other party would play tricks, so he wanted the middle-aged man and the others to go in first and lead the way. That way, they could capture the other party if there was danger. Okay. The middle-aged man did not refuse. This scene made Lin Xian, the nine firmament saint, and the others breathed a sigh of relief. It did not seem like a trap. At this time, Jingyun said, "Uncle Chi, let me go." "You!" Many people looked at Jingyun and frowned. That fellow had tried to stop them earlier, and he even went as far as to attack them. Why was he so kind now? They were not at ease. "You can't. You have to give in to the middle-aged man and these old men. Jingyun and I will go in. The elders are old and not suitable to move around." The middle-aged man sighed. "All right." Hearing this, the nine firmament saint and the others nodded. Lin Xian and Wuhua stood at the side and did not refuse. Then, the middle-aged man and Jingyun took the lead and walked toward the door. After the two of them went in, the nine firmament saint and the others moved. Lin Xian and Wuhua's bodies also glowed. The two of them followed in. When they were more than 10 meters in, the door behind them made a rumbling sound and quickly closed. The faint light also disappeared in an instant, and the passage became dark. However, this was not a problem for Lin Xian and the others. Their bodies glowed brightly, and the passage was instantly illuminated. "Everyone, please follow me." The middle-aged man led the way, and Jingyun also walked in front. Both of them were not slow, but with the strength of Lin Xian and the others, they easily kept up. Chapter 2488. Gradually, the two of them began to walk to the sides of the passage. They did not explain anything. Lin Xian and the others did not mind. After a few turns, Jingyun and the middle-aged man suddenly slammed their palms on the wall. Boom! 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 The ancient wall rumbled and was covered with countless cracks. It was like glass that would shatter at any moment. "Damn it! What are you doing?" Seeing this, the people from the Yin-Yang sect roared. The others' expressions changed as well. "How dare you play tricks in front of me?" The nine firmament saint and the black yak also roared. However, before they could attack, they were shocked. Because countless cracks had appeared on the walls on both sides. Black fog was spreading out from the cracks. The fog was very fast and seemed to be endless. It spewed out from the cracks and instantly covered the entire passage. Despicable outsiders! How dare you want the treasures of the White Cloud clan? Now die! Sinister laughter came from the front. It made one's scalp tingle. "You're courting death!" The people from the Nine Firmament Sacred Ground and the Yin-Yang sect roared. Among them, the people from the Nine Firmament Sacred Ground charged forward. Whoosh! Sharp saber light flashed and cut through the void. However, it was blocked by the black fog. The two martial artists from the Nine Firmament Sacred Ground were sent flying. The blood in their bodies was boiling. On the other side, the people from the Yin-Yang sect were also blocked. They looked at the black fog in front of them in shock. That was because the black fog was making gurgling sounds. Hideous heads and faces appeared from the black fog. There were even claws, scales, and tails. Demonic beasts! Seeing this, the surrounding people frowned. However, the people from the Fey Imperial Palace sneered. They all had the bloodline of mutated beasts. They were the least afraid of demonic beasts. Scram! The black yak shouted coldly. His voice was like thunder, roaring in all directions. His voice contained the power of his bloodline. Ordinary Fey kings would have knelt on the ground when they felt the power of his bloodline. However, this time around, his bloodline power had lost its effect. The monsters in the black fog were not affected at all. Instead, they let out roars and charged over. In an instant, Lin Xian and the others were surrounded. Ah! Miserable screams rang out as many of the Nine Heavens' holy ground, Illusion Destroyer Palace, and Yin-Yang sect cultivators were bitten, tearing off large chunks of flesh and blood. Blood dyed the ground red as they frantically retreated. Damn it! One attack after another slashed at the black fog and the monsters. However, the black fog was the same as the white clouds. It dispersed with a single slash, and after it dispersed, it could fuse back together again. It could be said that ordinary swords and sabers could not hurt them at all. Instead, more and more black fog came out of the crack. Damn it, What kind of monster is this? Why can't I kill him? The people of Nine Heavens Holy Ground and Yin Yang sect were horrified. They kept retreating while casting out defensive lights. Bang! 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 These monsters crashed into the defensive barrier, making earth-shattering noises. The light defense was very strong, but as more and more monsters appeared, the disciples were gradually unable to hold on. Get lost! At that moment, the Saint of Nine Heavens roared. The celestial palace and his body rushed up and floated in the sky. Curved rays of light shone down and covered the people of the Nine Heavens Holy Land. On the Yin-Yang sect's side, they worked together to cast out Yin and Yang Qi. A Yin-Yang diagram floated above their heads, blocking all the attacks. The people of Illusion Palace cast out a picture scroll that wrapped around them in all directions, temporarily blocking the black fog. The Black Yak and the others' demonic Qi soared into the sky to resist. Wu-Hua chanted Amitabha, and the Buddhist light flickered. It had a natural restraining effect on these monsters. These monsters retreated like the tide. They did not attack Wu-Hua. Instead, they all turned their attention to Lin Xian. Buzz! Lin Xian's dragon sword field appeared and blocked these monsters. At the same time, he waved his hand. The dragon's sword field emitted sword chi and slashed forward. Seeing this scene, the people of Nine Heavens Holy Ground and Yin-Yang sect sneered. It was useless. The attacks could not hurt them at all. But as soon as he said that, they were stunned. Because the black monsters that were hit by the sword chi were screaming in pain. They seemed to be very miserable. What? How was that possible? How could his sword chi hurt his opponent? These people were stunned. They also cast out sword light and saber light, but it was useless. Damn it, what kind of swordsmanship was this kid using? The Saint of Nine Heavens and the Black Yak also frowned. They had always felt that Lin Xian's swordsmanship was very strange. It seemed to be much fiercer than ordinary sword chi. That attack power made them feel apprehensive. They did not expect it to have a restraining effect on the black monsters. Brother Wu-Hua, let's go. After killing those monsters, Lin Xian said to Wu-Hua with a smile. Wu-Hua nodded. The Buddhist light on his body shone brightly. The two strode forward. Wherever they passed, the black monsters retreated like a flood. They did not dare to approach at all. Hurry up and follow. Seeing this scene, the Saint of Nine Heavens, the Black Yak, the people of Yin-Yang sect, and Illusion Palace all went forward, wanting to hitch a ride. But as soon as they moved, the black monsters in the sky rushed over, and the black fog enveloped them. Fierce collision sounds were heard, and angry roars were heard. Damn it, get lost! These people were all crazy. Especially the Saint of Nine Heavens and the Black Yak, they even used their special skills to kill in all directions. They were afraid that the treasures would be taken away by Lin Xian and Wu-Hua. Hearing the screams behind them, Lin Xian and Wu-Hua smiled. It seemed that the black fog should be able to stop the people behind for a while. In this case, they would not be polite. The two could not help but speed up. Wu-Hua's Buddhist light shone brightly, blocking all the black fog. Lin Xian's sword chi was like a dragon. The terrifying sword chi spread out in all directions, and any black monsters that dared to come close were directly killed. Buzz! After flying for a while, two figures suddenly appeared in front of them. Seeing these two people, Lin Xian snorted coldly. Wu-Hua also frowned. Because these two people were the middle-aged man and Jing Yun who had brought them in. The two of them were shocked to see Lin Xian and Wu-Hua. Damn it, impossible! How could you escape the zombie beast's pursuit? They were too surprised because they did not expect these two people to pass through the black fog so easily. Lin Xian said coldly. There is indeed something wrong with the two of you. He struck out two water swords, enveloping the front. The sea surged and turned into two cages, enveloping the two of them. Whoosh! Lin Xian and Wu-Hua strode forward. This time, they would not be soft-hearted. They would torture these two people properly. They were now wondering if this was a treasure trove. Chapter 2489. Two ocean cages surrounded them, and the surrounding seawater surged. Jingyun and the middle-aged man could not escape at all. However, the two of them were not afraid. Instead, they sneered. He, ha ha ha. Foolish outsiders, do you really think you can defeat us? The corners of their mouths curled up in a demonic smile. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian and Wu Hua both stopped and frowned. What's going on? Why are their expressions so strange? Suddenly, there was a cracking sound, and the two ocean cages were torn apart. Two large black hands emerged from the cracks in the walls. In an instant, they tore apart the water swords. Foolish outsiders, you still want our treasures? Now, go die obediently for me. The two of them shouted coldly. The black fog shrouded Jingyun and the middle-aged man. Buzz! In the black fog, a pair of eyes opened with a demonic light. Two human-shaped black fog appeared in front of Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Kill! The human-shaped black fog formed by Jingyun charged toward Lin Xian, while the middle-aged man charged toward Wu Hua. Humph! Wu Hua snorted coldly, and the Buddhist light on his body became even more dazzling. There were even runes flashing around him. They turned into mysterious runes one after another and blasted forward. Bang! The middle-aged man roared, but he was not as terrified as the black monsters before. He was able to resist. This scene made Wu Hua even more surprised. Whoosh! Lin Xian waved the great dragon sword Qi, and streaks of sword light slashed toward the black fog in front of him. Before he got close, Jingyun screamed in pain. There were a few more sword scars on his body. But soon, the fog on his body enveloped the sword scars. Jingyun rushed over again. Jingyun's strength was not strong, and he was easily suppressed by the ninth firmament saint even after using his ultimate move, the Seven Fiends' Blood Cloud. But now, after being enveloped by the black fog and turning into a human-shaped fog, his strength had soared. His current strength was probably not weaker than the saints. Moreover, he was extremely strange. He could turn into fog and dodge powerful attacks. He was even more difficult to deal with than the saints. If an ordinary saint were to encounter such a situation, they would definitely have a headache. However, Lin Xian was still fine. His great dragon sword spirit could destroy everything, so even if the other party could turn into mist, he would not be able to dodge his attack. Streaks of sword Qi tore through the void and turned into a sky full of sword radiance, enveloping Jingyun. Jingyun's body turned into mist and dodged in all directions. However, the places that were swept by the sword Qi still emitted white smoke and miserable screams. Therefore, after this attack, Taoist Jingyun's figure shrunk. Roar! Kill! This completely infuriated him. With a furious roar, the black gas that filled the sky surged. 9 black holes appeared beside him, blocking the sword light that filled the sky. At the same time, he attacked again. The great battle between the two shook the heavens and earth, their momentum terrifying. On the other side, the battle between No Flower and the middle-aged man was also intense. Wu Hua had a great Buddhist supernatural power and a mysterious bloodline. Therefore, his suppression of such dark things was very strong. For a moment, the middle-aged man was suppressed. Amitabha! 9 Buddhist runes appeared in the sky, spinning non-stop and emitting golden light. They were like 9 suns that blasted forward. The middle-aged man kept retreating. On the other side, Jingyun was also sent flying by Lin Xian again. The two of them retreated into the distance, roaring non-stop like crazy beasts. Suddenly, the sound of something breaking through the air came from behind. It turned out that the people of the 9 Heavens Sacred Ground and Demon Imperial Palace who were trapped by the black fog had rushed over. Although the black fog was strange, there were top powerhouses like the 9 Heavens Saint and the Black Yak. Moreover, these martial artists of the sacred grounds were not weak. They worked together and forced the fog to retreat. However, they were also seriously injured. Other than the 9 Heavens Saint and the Black Yak, the others were more or less injured. When they saw that Lin Xian and No Flower were blocked and did not advance, they all breathed a sigh of relief. Great, It seemed that they had not gotten the treasure yet. However, when they saw the two human-shaped fog, they frowned. What were those things? They could naturally feel the terrifying aura emitted from these human-shaped fog. Damn it, this place was too strange. There were even human-shaped monsters. Charge over. The 9 Heavens Saints snorted coldly. The Black Yak also led the people of Demon Imperial Palace to charge over. None of them paid any attention to Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Instead, they rushed straight ahead. In front, Jing Yun and the middle-aged man roared. The fog around them floated, forming a black light that filled the sky. Puff, puff, puff! The 9 Heavens Saint and the Black Yak were actually blocked. This scene made all the surrounding martial artists scream. The other party had the combat strength of a physical level. Their eyes were about to pop out. The 9 Heavens Saint and the Black Yak's faces were gloomy. Now they finally knew why Lin Xian and No Flower had not broken through and left. Damned outsider, go to hell for me. Jing Yun and the middle-aged man did not attack again. Their palms formed a seal, and the red light in their eyes became more and more intense. Boom! Their bodies suddenly exploded, forming a boundless black fog. Cracks appeared on the surrounding walls again. The black fog filled the sky, completely enveloping Lin Xian and the others again. And this time it was even more strange. It was not just black fog, but formed an array. Have a taste of the corpse soul array. A cold voice sounded. The array was activated, and terrifying energy attacked everyone. Get lost! Furious roars rang out one after another, and energy explosions shook the heavens and the earth. This array was too mysterious. Although they were still in the passage, they seemed to be in another world in the array at this moment. No matter where they went or how they broke through, they could not leave. They even felt that the vitality in their bodies was being stripped away bit by bit. The Buddhist light on No Flower's body shone, scaring away all the black fog, creating a vacuum around him. As he walked, the black fog around him dispersed like the tide, but it was useless. He could not recognize the direction at all. He could only walk in the array and could not break through it. Seeing this scene, Lin Xian said, "Brother No Flower, let's work together. You disperse the black fog. I will break the array and find a way out." Buzz! Lin Xian's eyes shone with golden light. He opened the heavenly secret God Eye, and mysterious runes flashed. Whoosh! In the void above their heads, a pair of golden eyes appeared. Although it was very faint and hazy, everyone could clearly feel that there was a god looking down on them. As soon as the golden eyes appeared, the black fog shook violently and almost dissipated. The warriors also felt a chill in their hearts, and their hair stood on end. What was going on? Why did they feel like they were being peeped at? The Black Yak and the 9th Firmament Saint also frowned. Their eyes were like rainbows, sweeping in all directions. Suddenly, their bodies trembled because they saw the illusory golden eyes above them. It was cold and emotionless, like the eyes of a god. What was this? Whose divine power was it? Or was it originally the same as the black fog? Was it used by the White Cloud clan to deal with them? Chapter 2490. They didn't know, but the 9 Firmament Saints' palace shone even brighter. Mysterious demonic patterns appeared on the Black Yak's body. Facing the unknown golden eyes, they didn't dare to be careless. The golden eyes were naturally formed by Lin Xian. The phantom of the heavenly secret divine eye appeared in the sky and scanned below. After a while, Lin Xian smiled. Found it. Brother Wu Hua, let's go. Next, Lin Xian began to guide the way, and Wu Hua was responsible for dispelling the black fog. Finally, the two left the corpse soul array. The two of them left. Follow them and rush out. Behind them, the voices of the 9 Firmament Saint and the others came, with anxiety and joy. The 9 Firmament Saint and the Black Yak took the lead, following the path Lin Xian and Wu Hua came out. Just as they were about to come out, Lin Xian and Wu Hua, who were in front of them, stopped and turned around. Humph! Go back! Lin Xian snorted, and the dragon sword field turned into an azure dragon, crashing forward. Wu Hua also shot out several rays of Buddhist light, forming a golden Buddha palm. Bang! Facing the two shocking attacks, the Black Yak and the Nine Firmament Saint tried their best to block. After the two attacks, the Nine Firmament Saint and the Black Yak were forced back, and in this moment, the surrounding black fog shrouded them again. The original path disappeared. Damn it! Ah! Damn it! The Nine Firmament Saints' crazy roar came from the black fog. Damn human, don't let us catch you, or I will kill you! The Black Yak roared crazily. The Nine Firmament Saint was full of murderous intent. Lin Xian, Wu Hua, I will remember you too. The next time I see you, I will kill you too. The crazy roar sounded, but Lin Xian and Wu Hua only sneered. They wouldn't pay attention to this kind of threat. Let's go, Lin Xian said. Their figures flickered as they walked forward. Along the way, they didn't encounter any more black fog, nor were they attacked by the array. But they didn't encounter any treasures. The cold aura around them became heavier and heavier, as if the two of them had fallen into a 10,000-year-old ice cave. In the end, both of them frowned. What kind of place was this? Was there any treasure? Fortunately, after walking for another half an incense stick's worth of time, something else finally appeared in front of them. There was also an ancient altar in front of them, similar to the one outside. It was just that the scale was a little smaller. A cauldron was placed on top of the ancient altar. It was a bronze cauldron with countless runes engraved on it. Seeing this bronze cauldron, Lin Xian and Wu Hua stopped again. Their eyes flashed as they glanced at each other. To be honest, the previous two dangers were caused by the bronze cauldron. This included entering the mysterious space this time. They did not expect to encounter a bronze cauldron here. Could it be that the treasure mentioned by the White Cloud clan was this bronze cauldron? To be honest, they didn't really want to touch the bronze cauldron. Because of the last two times, they felt that it was really strange. However, they were still very curious. They also wanted to know what was inside the bronze cauldron. Was there really a treasure inside? Brother Lin, I'll use the Buddha's light to suppress it first. Then, Wu Hua made a hand seal. 9 Buddhist runes appeared in the void and floated forward, circling around the bronze cauldron. Lin Xian's soul rushed forward and probed into the cauldron. At the same time, Wu Hua also used his soul power. Their soul power probed into the bronze cauldron in front of them. However, as soon as they entered, their expressions changed, and they immediately withdrew their soul power. This was because an extremely sharp sound came from the bronze cauldron. It sounded like a woman's voice, and it was very miserable and sharp. This scream almost shattered Lin Xian and Wu Hua's souls. Lin Xian's face was pale as he withdrew his soul power. On the other side, Wu Hua's expression was grave. What was inside? Fortunately, they were unable to use the 9 Buddhist runes to suppress it. Otherwise, their souls would have been severely injured when that sharp sound was emitted. Let me see what kind of monster is inside. Lin Xian's face was also cold. He opened his heavenly secret god eyes and made a hand seal. A pair of hazy golden eyes appeared above him. He didn't use it before because it consumed a lot of soul power. Unless it was a last resort, he didn't want to use it. However, he couldn't care less now. A pair of golden eyes appeared in the void, looking down like the eyes of a god. Finally, Lin Xian saw clearly what was inside the bronze cauldron. However, he was stunned. Then, the golden eyes in the sky disappeared. What did Brother Lin see? Wu Hua was also puzzled. There were 2 small cauldrons inside the bronze cauldron. They were sealed and couldn't be seen clearly. However, they should be the treasure that the White Cloud clan mentioned. There are 2 small cauldrons, one for each of us. However, what was that sharp sound? Wu Hua was even more puzzled. Lin Xian arrived. It was a human face. To be precise, it was a human face carved with runes. It wrapped the 2 small cauldrons under the bronze cauldron. If we want to take the small cauldrons inside, we have to deal with that sharp sound. Brother Lin, what do you think? Lin Xian said in a low voice. There wasn't much time. The 9 firmament saint and the black yak must be able to break through the array. Therefore, we have to end this quickly. I was able to resist the sharp voice, but even though I was able to contend against it, I was unable to protect my soul from the impact. When the time comes, both sides will suffer. Hearing this, Wu Hua smiled. Brother Lin, you don't have to worry. I have a treasure to protect your soul. With that, he flipped his hand and took out a Buddhist bead. The bead was crystal clear and about the size of an apple. It flickered with Buddhist light and was covered with Buddhist runes. This is a soul fixation bead. It can protect our souls. A soul fixation bead. Lin Xian was surprised. He didn't expect Wu Hua to have such a good thing. In fact, Lin Xian didn't know much about the Western Desert. If the elders of other sacred grounds were here, they would definitely scream when they heard the words soul fixation bead. Because it was a treasure of Lanruo Temple. With it, one wouldn't be affected by the soul. Moreover, it was rumored that even if a dead person was enveloped by the soul fixation bead, their 3 souls and 7 spirits could be fixed. Perhaps there was a possibility of resurrection. There were many rumors about the soul fixation bead. Okay, let's do it. We'll work together. Lin Xian nodded. Wu Hua waved his hand and the soul fixation bead floated in the sky. Countless Buddhist lights scattered and enveloped the two of them. Lin Xian felt the golden light and was surprised. Indeed, he felt a mysterious force protecting his soul. This way, he didn't have to worry about anything. The next moment, he mobilized the dragon sword soul in his body. A dragon soul rushed out of his body and appeared in the sky, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws. With a roar, the dragon soul entered the bronze cauldron. Chapter 2491. Ah! That sharp voice sounded. It was as if sharp sword divine light pierced through the void. The 9 runes that Wu Hua shot out collapsed in an instant. Fortunately, the soul anchoring pearl blocked all the soul attacks. Roar! The dragon sword's spirit roared, and the dragon's roar shook the 9 heavens. It resisted the strange cry of the human face. Countless cracks appeared in the void and spread to the surroundings. Behind them, in the corpse soul array, the 9th firmament saint and the black yak heard the dragon's roar, and their eyelids twitched. The surrounding martial artists felt their blood boil. Their faces were pale. What was that sound? Not good. Damn it! They made a move. There must be treasures ahead. This should be their trump card. The 9th firmament saint roared. He couldn't care less. He had to break the array. Buzz! The 9th firmament saint shouted coldly, and quickly formed a seal. The door of the immortal palace above his head suddenly opened, and a ray of light flew out from inside. Like an immortal light, it directly cut through the void. A large crack appeared in the black fog array ahead. On the black yak's side, it let out a roar. Its body suddenly grew, and a ferocious ox demon king appeared in the void. The bull's horns directly tore the array apart. Go! The black yak rampaged and led the people of the demon king palace away. The 9th firmament saint also opened a path with the immortal palace. The group finally broke the array. They pushed their speed to the limit and rushed forward. In front of them, the dragon sword's spirit fought against the demonic human face. Gradually, the sword's spirit suppressed the demonic human face. Whoosh! The dragon swung its tail and shrouded 2 small bronze cauldrons. That's great! Lin Xian and Wu Hua waved their hands and each grabbed a small bronze cauldron. The 2 small bronze cauldrons were very simple and unadorned. They were also engraved with runes and were as big as a human head. They were heavy, and no one knew what was inside. The 9th firmament saint, the black yak, and the people of the Yinyang sect happened to see this scene. Immediately, their eyes turned red. Damn it, put down the treasures! The 9th firmament saint roared, and the black yak also looked ferocious. They were the fastest and arrived nearby in an instant. Humph! Lin Xian waved the dragon sword spirit and threw the bronze cauldron in front of him. Once the bronze cauldron was thrown out, he immediately retrieved the great dragon sword soul. The soul fixation pearls above their heads shone brightly, enveloping the two of them. Ah! A sharp voice came from the bronze cauldron and spread in all directions. Hearing this, everyone felt their scalps go numb. The ninth firmament Saint Sun and the Black Yak were the first to bear the brunt of the attack. The two of them retreated and spat out mouthfuls of blood. The Holy Land martial artists behind them were also pale and twitching non-stop. This was a soul attack. They were terrified. They didn't expect that the bronze cauldron would have such a strong killing intent. This scene was within the expectations of Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Apart from the soul fixation pearl, there were very few things that could block it. Ah! Die for me! The saint of the nine firmament had gone mad. How could he endure such a loss? Swish! The immortal palace above his head opened again, and another beam of divine light swept down. This divine light was even more intense than the previous ones. What was that? Lin Xian felt a chill run down his spine when he felt this light. Wu Hua's expression was solemn. They felt a threat to their lives. This should be the saint of the nine firmament's trump card. Trump card? Lin Xian frowned. The saint of the nine firmament actually had such a terrifying trump card. It seemed that he couldn't underestimate any saint or saintess. Clang! A beam of divine light crashed into the bronze cauldron in front of them, making a shocking sound. The surrounding void instantly shattered. 3 cracks appeared on the bronze cauldron. So powerful! Lin Xian and Wu Hua were shocked. At this time, the Black Yak also roared. He pulled out the 2 horns on his head and threw them out. Like 2 heavenly knives, they crashed into the bronze cauldron again. Clang! Clang! Bang! Boom! Another 2 shocking collisions. The Holy Land martial artists behind them screamed crazily. It couldn't be helped. This sound was too terrifying. Even the Black Yak and the Saint of the Nine Firmament were pale and spat out blood again. The only ones who were unharmed were Wu Hua and Lin Xian. The 2 of them were enveloped by the soul anchoring pearl, blocking this shocking killing intent. The collision of the 2 horns caused more cracks to appear on the bronze cauldron. The human face inside was also torn into pieces. With a boom, the bronze cauldron cracked open, and a black hole quickly formed. Great! It finally broke open. Behind them, the Holy Land martial artists breathed a sigh of relief. But at this time, they felt a wave of dizziness. It wasn't just them. The Saint of the Nine Firmament, the Black Yak, Lin Xian, and Wu Hua all felt the same. At the place where the bronze cauldron exploded, a black vortex appeared. It grew bigger and bigger, and finally enveloped everyone. The world spun. It was as if thousands of years had passed, but it also felt like an instant. Finally, Lin Xian and the others regained consciousness. Buzz! The dragon sword field enveloped them, and the dragon sword's spirit roared. Lin Xian was the first to wake up. Beside him, Wu Hua, the Saint of the Nine Firmament, the Black Yak, and the other Holy Land martial artists also woke up. They realized that they were back. This was still the secret room. The 8 trigrams array under their feet had been broken. In front of them was the bronze cauldron with a headless corpse. We're back. We're finally out. The people of the Nine Firmament Holy Land and the Yin-Yang sect cried tears of joy. They felt like they had survived a disaster. The Saint of the Nine Firmament and the Black Yak stared coldly at Lin Xian and Wu Hua. Because the 2 of them were still holding the 2 bronze cauldrons in their hands. What had happened before? Was it an illusion, or did they really enter a strange space? Lin Xian didn't know now. They were not injured at all. Including those from the Nine Firmament Holy Land who were injured before, there were no injuries on their bodies. This made Lin Xian suspect that it was an illusion. But he and Wu Hua clearly had 2 bronze cauldrons in their hands. If it was really an illusion, how could they bring things out of the illusion? Therefore, Lin Xian was very suspicious now. But the 2 of them couldn't care so much. There were too many strange things, and they couldn't understand at all. Whoosh! He and Wu Hua put away the bronze cauldrons. Damn it, hand over the treasure! The Saint of the Nine Firmament and the black yak couldn't bear it anymore. There must be a shocking treasure in such a terrifying bronze cauldron. Moreover, there were 2 cauldrons. The 2 of them each had one. The Saint of the Nine Firmament charged toward Lin Xian, and the black yak charged toward Wu Hua. For a time, the battle between the 4 saints broke out. "Damn brat, stay here!" The Saint of the Nine Firmament rushed up, and the immortal palace above his head bobbed up and down. But this time, he didn't shoot out that immortal light. It seemed that that was his trump card, and he wouldn't use it easily. There must be some kind of restriction. Lin Xian didn't care if he didn't use his trump card. The 2 of them fought until the sky fell and the earth cracked. On the other side, the black yak and Wu Hua were the same. Boom! In front of them, the bronze cauldron in the center of the 8 trigrams array trembled. A wave of energy spread out. Chapter 2492. In front of them, the bronze cauldron in the center of the 8 trigrams formation trembled. A wave of energy spread out. Feeling this energy, the surrounding martial artists felt their scalps go numb. The martial artists from the Holy Lands all retreated, not daring to go forward. Even the 9th Firmament Saint, the Black Yak, and Lin Xian stopped attacking. They looked at the bronze cauldron in shock. Damn it, there wouldn't be another change, would there? They were scared. They didn't want to enter some mysterious space again. So, everyone quietly retreated. Crack! Another trembling sound was heard. Lin Xian, No Flower, and the others found that the headless corpse in the bronze cauldron moved. No way, how many years ago was this person? And his head was chopped off. How could he be revived after being dead for so long? They didn't dare to imagine. This was the corpse of an invincible king. Once it was revived, who knew how terrifying it would be? No Flower's expression changed. He pointed forward and said in a panic, "Not good, retreat." "What's wrong? Is there really a mutation?" Lin Xian frowned and retreated to the back with Wu Hua. No Flower's face was pale. "No, there's something under the headless corpse." "What?" "There's something else." Lin Xian was stunned. The 9th Firmament Saint and the Black Yak's eyelids twitched. They thought the invincible king's corpse was going to mutate, but they didn't expect that to be the case. "What's down there? Is it more terrifying than an invincible king?" They didn't dare to think about it anymore. No Flower's face was pale. He didn't retreat. Instead, he stood there with one hand pointing to the sky and the other to the ground. His body shone with Buddhist light as he formed a strange seal. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. This was the same seal that had shocked the 10,000-year-old vengeful spirit. They hoped that this time, they could successfully intimidate this unknown thing. Sure enough, as soon as the seal appeared, the trembling in the bronze cauldron stopped. Boom! However, something even more unexpected happened. They found that the 8 trigrams formation under their feet suddenly cracked and a large black hole appeared, swallowing them again. Rays of light lit up as Lin Xian and the others opened their king domains. However, what made them heave a sigh of relief was that they did not enter the strange space this time. Instead, they were once again in the passage. It seemed that they should leave. "Brother Wu Hua, let's split up." Lin Xian transmitted his voice. He turned into a beam of sword light and rushed into the distance. There were many forks in the passage ahead. He and Wu Hua each chose one to enter. "You want to leave?" "Not so easy." The Saint Child of the 9 Firmaments once again charged over. The Black Yak was similarly overflowing with killing intent as he chased after No Flower. The 4 of them moved very quickly and left the remaining Holy Land cultivators in the dust. Whoosh! Whoosh! 2 beams of light flashed quickly in the dark tunnel. They were Lin Xian and the 9 Firmament Saint. The 2 of them, one at the front and one at the back, kept chasing each other. With a flash of lightning, Lin Xian appeared in a palace. This hall was very spacious. He looked around and found that there was no danger. Lin Xian stopped in his tracks. He stood in the air above the hall and looked down. That damned saint son of the 9 Firmament actually dared to chase after him. It was time to deal with him. Break. The saint son of the nine firmament also came into the hall. Seeing that the other party did not run away, he revealed a sinister smile. Kid, hand over the treasure, and I will spare your life. If you want the treasure, use your strength to speak. Boom! Lin Xian stretched out his palm. Countless icy auras surrounded his palm. It was like a world of ice and snow, mercilessly pressing down. Crack! 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 Countless frost, wind, and snow appeared in the space of the hall, wanting to freeze everything. The saint son of the nine firmament bore the brunt. Thick ice formed under his feet and on his body. Get lost! With a cold snort, endless energy erupted from his body and shattered all the ice and snow. The immortal palace above his head appeared and froze the space around him. You want to stop me with this little bit of ice? You must be dreaming. The saint son of the nine firmament sneered. Lin Xian did not answer at all. He formed a seal with his palm, and ice swords appeared in the ice. Bang! 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 They pierced the sky and destroyed everything. The saint son of the nine firmament's defense was penetrated in an instant. Damn it! The saint son of the nine firmament's expression changed. He felt a peerless, murderous intent. Bang! He punched out, shattering all the ice arrows. But then the ground under his feet trembled, and the void cracked. An ice dragon broke out of the ground and circled around him, binding him tightly. Terrifying cold air and icy murderous intent spread out and corroded his body. If it were not for the immortal palace, he would have frozen to death. Even so, he and the entire immortal palace were frozen together. The divine fire of the nine firmament had turned into heaven and earth. Flames began to spread out from the saint son of the nine firmament. They burned fiercely and melted the ice around him. At the same time, the divine fire formed a fire qilin and fought with the ice dragon in the air. Swoosh! Lin Xian waved his hand, and the ice around him turned into ice phoenixes, ice snakes, ice tigers, and all kinds of strange demon beasts. They charged forward. Boom! 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 The divine fire around the saint son of the nine firmament was terrifying. It burned fiercely and blocked everything. Buzz! He activated the immortal palace and charged forward, shattering all the ice. He charged toward Lin Xian. Lin Xian sneered. You want to fight me in close combat? You're courting death. He pulled out the ancient dragon abyss sword and used the 5 killer moves of the wanton heaven destroyer sword. Bang! 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 The 5 killer moves all landed on the saint son of the nine firmament, forcing him to keep retreating. He spat out mouthfuls of blood. His face was pale, and the flames on his body were extinguished. Lin Xian was taken aback as well. Even an unparalleled mighty figure would probably be torn apart by his killer moves. But the other party only spat out mouthfuls of blood and did not tear apart. The other party's physique was stronger than he had expected. Ah! I'm going to kill you! The saint son of the nine firmament was mad. The energy in his body continued to explode, and the immortal palace above his head shone with a mysterious light. A terrifying aura emerged from the immortal palace. Feeling the change in the aura, Lin Xian frowned. He had seen a beam of immortal light from the immortal palace before. It was life-threatening, so he did not dare to be careless. Whoosh! The dragon's sword realm above his head turned into an azure dragon. The realm released thousands of sword lights, cutting off everything and destroying the void. The two superpowers collided in the air, and the sound spread far and wide. Whoosh! Whoosh! In the distance, more than a dozen figures flew toward them. As soon as they entered, they were blasted back. The energy shockwaves inside were not something they could withstand. These people only watched from the entrance, and their faces were full of shock. This is the saint son of the nine firmament, right? He's actually fighting with someone. It's him. Lin Xian, the master of the immortal palace. Why are the two of them fighting? This was normal. The two of them had always been at odds. The surrounding people were discussing. Lin Xian's sword qi was so terrifying. There were probably not many people in the younger generation who could release such sharp sword qi. What kind of sword technique was that? Was it the Immortal Palace's secret superpowers? Chapter 2493. It was too terrifying. Many people exclaimed in surprise. However, some of the older generation cultivators were even more astonished. The Immortal Palace was the ultimate technique of the Nine Heavens' holy ground. It was rumored that the Nine Heavens' holy ground's grand mystique, when cultivated to the end, could form a 9-layered immortal palace. He wondered what level the 9th firmament saint was using now. At this moment, the palace above the saint of the 9th firmament shone brightly. The energy was like a vast ocean, surging forward. Judging from its power, it should be the 3rd level of the celestial palace. An expert exclaimed. 3 layers of immortal palaces? Lin Xian coldly snorted. Holding the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand, he undid the 2 layers of seals on the ancient sword and resisted. 10,000 streaks of light shone, and a heaven-shocking sound erupted. The void in front of them was shattered, and everything was blasted apart. He actually managed to block the 3rd layer of the Immortal Palace. This Immortal Palace's palace master was too terrifying, right? How could his sword energy be so powerful? The cultivators in the passage exclaimed, unable to believe the scene in front of them. Damn brat, I don't believe that you can block my second attack. The saint of the 9th firmament clenched his teeth and roared. He activated the celestial palace above his head again. At the same time, 9 palm shadows appeared in the sky and surrounded the celestial palace. 9 heaven's divine palm. 9 resplendent palms floated up and down in the sky before slamming down mercilessly, shattering the void. The surrounding people trembled. They could feel a shocking killing intent coming from the palm. The 9 firmament's divine palm was the ultimate technique of the 9 firmament's holy ground. Combined with the attack of the Immortal Palace, the power was so strong that it defied the heavens. It seemed that the saint of the 9 firmaments was really angry. At this moment, the saint of the 9 heavens descended from the sky like a god of death. Lin Xian struck out with the 5 elements sword art. Metal, wood, water, fire, and earth elemental sword qi weaved through the air. The sword qi also caused the expressions of the surrounding experts to change. Boom! Boom! The 9 heavens' divine palm was incomparably terrifying. It descended from the sky like a divine palm that could destroy the world. Lin Xian brandished his ancient sword and unleashed the 5 elements sword technique to contend against it. Sword qi crisscrossed, divine light danced, and a terrifying murderous aura swept across the world. The 2 of them exchanged 10 moves, and the 9 shocking strikes of the 9 heavens' divine palm were actually completely blocked. Not only that, the other party didn't seem to have received any damage. This was too inconceivable. This was a world-shaking divine ability, the 9 firmament's divine palm, and it was actually shattered by 9 swords. No one dared to believe it. The saint of the 9 firmament looked gloomy. He realized that ordinary attacks were useless. Even if he used his ultimate technique, he would not be able to do anything to the other party. Damn it, looks like I can only use my trump card. Kid, I admit that you're very strong. Ordinary attacks and divine abilities can't hurt you at all. However, do you think that's all I have? I will let you experience my true strength. At this point, the 9 firmament saint's eyes lit up. His hands quickly formed a seal, and his body emitted a powerful aura. The immortal palace above his head became even more dazzling. Crack! A low voice rang out as a door slowly opened in one of the celestial palaces. What? The door of the immortal palace can be opened? What was going on? The experts in the surrounding passageways were also stunned when they saw this scene. They had never heard of this before. From the looks of it, this should be the 9th firmament saint's trump card. But what exactly was in the immortal palace? Was it about to appear? Lin Xian also narrowed his eyes. He had seen the immortal light in the immortal palace before. It could be said that it was unusually sharp and made him feel as if his life was in danger. Therefore, when he saw the door of the immortal palace open, he did not dare to be careless. The great dragon's sword soul in his body circled and transformed into a dragon shadow that coiled around his body. Swoosh! A beam of immortal light cut through time and space. It flew out from the door of the immortal palace and charged forward. This beam of light was too fast and too dazzling. Before the people around could react, there was a loud boom in front of them. Then, Lin Xian was sent flying. Heavens, what happened? What was that light? Did it come from the immortal palace? That kid was sent flying, and he was bleeding. He must have been seriously injured. Could it be that he was killed in a single move? That's possible. The immortal light that flew out from the immortal palace was definitely a fatal blow. Even the saint would be killed if he was careless. How dare you fight with me? Now you know how powerful I am. You don't know what death is. Seeing his opponent vomit blood and fly backward, the 9 firmament saint smiled cruelly. He strode forward, and the immortal palace above his head became even more dazzling. At that moment, he was like a celestial king. He came before Lin Xian and looked down on him. Now go to hell for me. The 9 firmament saint raised his hand, and endless power surged. However, at that moment, Lin Xian, who had been lying motionless on the ground, raised his head. The corners of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. Oh no! Seeing his opponent's smile, the 9 firmament saint's heart skipped a beat. He realized that he had been tricked. A sense of danger welled up in his heart. The 9 firmament saint quickly retreated. Buzz! However, he was still too late. This was a trap that Lin Xian had carefully set up. How could he let his opponent escape? He swung his sword. The ancient dragon abyss sword turned into a giant dragon and slashed out. Splat! Blood spurted out and dyed the sky red. An arm flew off. The 9 firmament saint screamed. His hair was disheveled, and he seemed to have gone mad. Ah! My arm! What? Everyone in the passageway was stunned. What happened? The 9 firmament saint was injured, and his arm was chopped off? What was going on? The situation had changed so quickly that they were completely confused. In front, Lin Xian slowly stood up. The great dragon sword soul flickered on his body. There was a beam of immortal light in the dragon's head. It was the fatal blow that the 9 firmament saint had delivered. However, the great dragon sword soul had caught it. Therefore, Lin Xian did not suffer much damage. The blood was also deliberately caused by him. His goal was to bait the 9 firmament saint and make him let down his guard. That way, he would be able to succeed. Sure enough, he chopped off his opponent's arm. Ah! Damn brat, I'm going to kill you! The 9 firmament saint roared crazily. He grabbed the severed arm with his palm and reconnected it. His body glowed, and the severed arm was once again intact. However, the 9 firmament saint's face was extremely ferocious. He really could not understand how his opponent had caught his beam of immortal light. Do you think you're the only one with a trump card? Lin Xian sneered. Although his opponent's immortal light was powerful, he was too naive to think that he could kill him with it. Brat, you forced me to do this. No matter what price I have to pay, I want you dead today. The 9 firmament saint's voice was cold. A terrifying murderous aura surrounded all directions. The experts in the passageway were so frightened that they trembled. Heavens, could it be that the 9 firmament saints still had a trump card? That was for sure. After all, he was the saint of the 9 firmament sacred ground. He had many cards in his hands. The immortal light was probably not his only trump card. That's right. Everyone guessed correctly. The 9 firmament saint did have a trump card. Moreover, it was an even more powerful trump card. Chapter 2494. The 9th firmament saint's expression was cold as the immortal palace above his head bobbed up and down. This time, the door of the immortal palace opened again, and an even more terrifying murderous intent spread out. Immortal light again? The surrounding experts were shocked. Someone said that it might be 2 beams of immortal light? Then its power would be more than doubled. They wondered if the kid could withstand it. 2 beams of immortal light? Lin Xian sneered. He had already received 1 beam, so this immortal light was no threat to him. If he could receive it once, he could receive it a second time. Even if there were 2 beams of immortal light, he was not afraid. Kid, you will regret it. The 9th firmament saint sneered as the immortal palace above his head became more and more dazzling. Whoosh! A figure walked out of the immortal palace. What? A figure? There was actually someone living in the immortal palace? The surrounding experts were stunned. No, it shouldn't be a real person. It should be condensed with energy. That's too scary. I thought an immortal had appeared. Immortals were just legends. No one knew if immortals existed in the world. However, the person who walked out of the immortal palace was definitely heaven-defying. I guess that kid might not be able to withstand it. Everyone was discussing intensely. Lin Xian was also stunned. To be honest, he did not expect that it would be a human figure who walked out this time. His face darkened, and his expression was extremely solemn. Because the intense murderous intent brought by this figure was even more terrifying than the previous beam of immortal light. What was this figure? Lin Xian did not know, but he felt a chill run down his spine. Damn it! The 9th firmament saint actually had such a powerful trump card. Kid, how is it? Are you trembling? Ha 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 ha, this is what you get for provoking me. Even if you kneel down and beg me now, I won't let you go. The 9th firmament saint sneered. His face became pale, without a trace of blood. Obviously, using such a trump card was a huge burden on him. Now go to hell for me. With a roar, the figure who walked out of the immortal palace above moved. Like a ghost, he streaked across the sky and instantly arrived in front of Lin Xian. Boom! With a palm strike, energy whistled and enveloped Lin Xian. With a loud bang, Lin Xian was pushed back, his blood and qi churning inside his body. What a terrifying palm power! Lin Xian was shocked. This was definitely at the level of a saint. Furthermore, it was a very powerful one. If the 9 firmament saint attacked again, it would be 2 saints against 1. That kind of situation was much more dangerous than before. However, what surprised Xiao Chun was that the 9 firmament saint did not charge over. He did not cooperate with the terrifying figure to attack together. What was going on? Could it be that he was very weak now? Or was it because he had used his trump card that he couldn't make a move? Lin Xian couldn't understand. Whoosh! His figure flickered as he used the demigods and semi-devils. His speed suddenly exploded, and he dodged the attack of the immortal palace's shadow. He charged toward the 9 firmament saint. Seeing this, the celestial palace above the saint's head circled around him, blocking the shocking attack. It's useless, kid. Don't even think about killing me. With the celestial palace around, you can't kill me at all. As expected, Lin Xian was pushed back by the celestial palace. The figure charged over again. Xiao Chun was entangled with the figure. So that's how it is. I really can't attack. Seeing this, Lin Xian completely relaxed. The 9 firmament saint couldn't attack. There was only one figure. Although it was extremely powerful, it couldn't do anything to him. It's just a figure, and you want to kill me? What a joke! Today, I'll show you that your so-called trump card is nothing in front of me. Lin Xian's voice resounded in all directions. Nothing in front of you? You really don't know what's good for you. Kid, keep being stubborn. You'll know later how powerful this figure is. The 9 firmament saint didn't care at all. This figure was even more terrifying than the immortal light. It could even kill a saint. However, to use it, he had to pay a huge price. First, the energy in his body was almost exhausted. Moreover, he couldn't attack now. Therefore, unless it was a last resort, the 9 firmament saint didn't want to use this trump card. But now, he was forced into a corner. Even if he was weakened, he had to kill his opponent. Buzz! Sure enough, The figure was expressionless. It charged at Lin Xian like a flickering light. The monstrous aura made people tremble. Heavens, this is definitely the combat strength of a saint. This figure was really too terrifying. The Nine Firmament Saint was indeed terrifying. Moreover, this figure was not afraid of attacks or death at all. It could be said that it was indomitable. I wonder how that kid will block it. Everyone was talking about it. They all looked at Lin Xian. Lin Xian let out a long roar. Sword chi erupted from his body. His invisible combat strength increased. He held the ancient dragon abyss sword in his hand and swept through the surroundings like a sword god. Dragon-shaped sword chi surged. Sword chi filled the sky. 1 slash, 2 slashes, 3 slashes. Lin Xian didn't talk nonsense. His combat strength increased infinitely. Each slash was stronger than the previous one. At the 9th slash, heaven and earth exploded. The figure from the celestial palace was sent flying. Countless cracks appeared on its body as if it was about to shatter. He was so powerful. The surrounding people were shocked. The Nine Firmament Saint's scalp went numb. He didn't expect that his trump card would be shattered by his opponent. How was that possible? Why was his opponent's combat strength stronger than before? He couldn't believe it. Damn it! With a roar, the Nine Firmament Saint couldn't care less. His figure flashed, and he rushed forward. He merged with the figure from the celestial palace. When the two of them merged, an earth-shattering power erupted and swept through the 9 heavens and 10 lands. Whoosh! A crack appeared in the void. The Nine Firmament Saint appeared again. His aura was much stronger than before. Kid, go to hell! After merging with the mysterious figure, the Nine Firmament Saint attacked again. He slapped out, causing Lin Xian to vomit blood and fly backward. This time, I won't give you any chance. The Nine Firmament Saint's voice was cold. He swore that he would kill Lin Xian. After succeeding in one move, he attacked again. Countless rays of light above his head were like heavenly blades, attacking Lin Xian. The Nine Firmament Divine Palm appeared again. Bang! Bang! Lin Xian was sent flying again, spitting blood from the corner of his mouth. However, the aura on his body became extremely fierce. The dragon sword spirit roared. Lin Xian unlocked the 3rd seal on the ancient dragon abyss sword. Do you think you're the only one with a trump card? Today, I'll let you see my trump card. With a swing of the sword, heaven and earth dimmed, and the celestial palace was sent flying. With the 2nd slash, the Nine Firmament Saint was sent flying. Damn it! He was actually so powerful. The Nine Firmament Saint's skin went numb. He turned around and left. He didn't dare to continue fighting because he had merged with the figure and used his trump card. After such a long time, he still couldn't take down his opponent. His opponent's combat strength was getting stronger and stronger. He didn't dare to delay. If he stayed any longer, he would probably become weak. Therefore, he was ready to retreat. His figure flashed, and he flew into the distance. Chapter 2495. However, Lin Xian would not let him go. He waved his hands, and the ancient sword exploded again. A ball of fiery light appeared. A sword shadow fell from the sky and tore the void apart. Poof! The sword split the Nine Firmament Saint's body in half. Blood splattered everywhere. The Saint of the Nine Firmament floated in the sky. Blood and internal organs flowed out. What? The Saint of the Nine Firmament was killed. Everyone went crazy. They could not believe it. That was the Saint of the Nine Firmament. How could he be killed just like that? If they had not seen it with their own eyes, they would not have believed it. Whoosh! Lin Xian resealed the ancient dragon abyss sword. His face was a little pale. He looked ahead and furrowed his brows. He realized that the body that had been split in half did not die. Instead, it merged again and was taken into the Immortal Palace. The Immortal Palace emitted a mysterious light. It turned into a stream of light and disappeared. Only a voice was left in the world. Damned brat, I'll remember today's sword. I'll return it to you in the future. Humph! The next time we meet, I'll kill you with my own hands. Lin Xian replied coldly. He did not chase after the Saint of the Nine Firmament. The immortal palace was too mysterious. He could not break it with his current strength. However, it was enough this time. He had killed the Saint of the Nine Firmament. Even if the Saint of the Nine Firmament did not die, his combat strength would be greatly reduced. It was impossible for him to return to his peak in a short period of time. It could be said that he had killed a powerful enemy. Whoosh! Lin Xian exhaled slowly and landed. He looked around and said coldly, Why? How long do you want to watch? Get lost. Otherwise, don't blame me for killing. His cold voice blasted the void. The people in the passage felt their scalps go numb. Many of them turned around and ran. What a joke. The Saint of the Nine Firmament had been killed. They did not dare to stay. However, not everyone ran away. 3 figures did not leave. Instead, they came to the palace. Seeing this scene, the people that were fleeing also stopped and turned their heads to look. What are these people trying to do? Are they going to fight? Lin Xian furrowed his brows when he saw the 3 figures approaching. What? Do the 3 of you want to die? Kid, you don't have to threaten us. Those 3 sword strikes were powerful, but you must have used up too much energy to use your trump card. How many battles do you have left? Do you think you're bluffing to scare us off? Do you think that's possible? The Nine Firmament Saint's son wants to kill you for the treasure, right? Hand over the treasure you obtained, and the 3 of us can let you live. Otherwise, you will lose your life here today. You're courting death. How dare you 3 ants try to snatch my treasure? Lin Xian snorted coldly, his eyes bursting with piercing sword light. Ants? Brat, you're really blind. We just don't want to reveal our identities. Do you really think we're ants? The auras of the 3 of them suddenly erupted like a mountain torrent, enveloping the entire sky. This power was simply too strong. This was definitely an expert. So valiant! Who were these 3 people? In the passageway, the remaining people were extremely surprised. They found that the 3 of them were shrouded in black fog, and they couldn't see clearly. Thinking about it, he must have done so in order to conceal his identity. A guy who doesn't even dare to show his face dares to be arrogant in front of me? Lin Xian looked at the 3 of them, and a murderous intent appeared in his eyes. Indeed, unlocking the 3rd level of the ancient sword had consumed a lot of his energy. However, not everyone could target him. Since you're not cooperating, don't blame the 3 of us for being impolite. The man in black in the middle sneered. He stretched out his large hand, covering the sky and earth, and grabbed in front of him. Buzz poof! Lin Xian attacked decisively. He swung his sword and slashed at the large palm. With a bang, the palm was split open. Blood turned into a rain of blood and fell. That person grunted and retracted his palm. Damn it! Let's attack together and kill him. The 3 of them were shocked. They didn't expect the other party to have such strength after using his trump card. It seemed that they had to go all out. The 3 of them turned into 3 phantoms and charged over in a triangular formation. The ancient dragon abyss sword swept out and forced 2 of them back. The other person came to Lin Xian's side. Whoosh! A black longsword appeared in the hand of the man in black. The sword light shone, sending chills down one's spine. Hee hee, die, kid! The man in black sneered. The killing intent on his body surged. The sword was about to stab him. But suddenly, his body trembled because he saw a pair of golden eyes. What kind of eyes were those? They carried endless power. In an instant, the man in black was stunned. He felt his soul being sucked into a strange space. Bang! Lin Xian punched out and exploded the man's head. The headless corpse fell to the ground, dyeing the ground red. What? How could this be? How could he be so powerful? Damn it, it's a soul attack. Let's go. The remaining 2 men in black turned around and ran. Initially, they thought that the other party was very weak, so they joined forces. However, Even though the other party was weak, he was not someone they could fight against. Therefore, the two of them quickly ran away. In an instant, the two of them entered the passage and were about to disappear. But suddenly, the two of them stopped in midair and screamed miserably. This scene was extremely strange because the others could clearly see that the two of them did not suffer any injuries. However, the two of them screamed like pigs being slaughtered, causing one's scalp to go numb. 3 seconds later, the two of them stiffened and fell to the ground. Their eyes were wide open, and there was no trace of life. "Anyone else who wants to attack me, step forward." Lin Xian's cold voice sounded as he looked around. Hearing this, everyone fled, not daring to stay for even a second. In an instant, everyone in the hall had left. Lin Xian heaved a sigh of relief. He took out 2 pills, swallowed them, and left the hall. Shuttling through the passage, Lin Xian found a remote stone house. There were no treasures inside, and it was very simple. He set up a formation seal, then his figure flashed and entered the black earth. "Hey Tu, help me watch the situation outside. I want to cultivate." Lin Xian gave some instructions, then sat down cross-legged. With a flip of his palm, he took out the small bronze cauldron he obtained. The small cauldron was very thick and heavy. Although it was small in size, it was as heavy as a mountain. It was engraved with rune markings, and the top was sealed by countless runes, carrying with it an ancient power. Lin Xian activated the great dragon sword soul, activated Tianji's body, and carefully broke these seals. After about half a day, he finished breaking all these seals. Crack! He opened the small bronze cauldron. In the next moment, his pupils shrank because the moment he opened it, a strange pill fragrance drifted out. Smelling the pill fragrance, Lin Xian felt his entire body warm up. The strength he had consumed was recovering at a very fast speed. What a magical pill! Lin Xian was excited. He had obtained a treasure. Chapter 2496. Just the pill fragrance alone had such an effect. This was definitely a heaven-defying pill. He was also an alchemist, so he naturally knew the effects of this pill. Not to mention him, even an invincible king would be greatly tempted. With a wave of his palm, a pill floated out of the small bronze cauldron. The purple pill was the size of a longan fruit. It was covered with pill patterns and was very mysterious. Lin Xian couldn't understand it. However, it didn't matter if he didn't understand it, as long as it was effective. With a flip of his palm, he swallowed this purple pill. But as soon as he swallowed it, his eyes widened, and there was even a trace of regret. He was too careless. The power of this pill was far beyond his imagination. At this moment, it was like a furnace of heaven and earth, burning fiercely in his body. That violent energy turned into a turbulent sea, swimming in his meridians as if it wanted to burst his body. "Damn it, suppress it!" Lin Xian roared and quickly ran the longevity incantation. The longevity incantation was very magical, crazily absorbing the energy in his body. However, this energy was far beyond Lin Xian's imagination. There was too much, like a vast sea, endless. This surprised Lin Xian. He knew that he had underestimated this pill. This pill from tens of thousands of years ago was really too terrifying. The grade was probably unimaginable. Although his longevity incantation was very mysterious and could absorb infinitely, his body couldn't bear it. Thinking of this, Lin Xian's eyes flashed with a fierce light. He quickly urged the dragon sword soul and at the same time, absorbed the energy in his body to awaken. The dragon sword soul was an offensive saint technique with unlimited potential, but it was still in the growth stage at this moment. Lin Xian was now in the early 7-star stage, and he could fight against an early 8-star peerless mighty figure. If the dragon sword soul went all out, it could even fight against a mid-8-star peerless mighty figure. Although it was only the difference between the mid-stage and early stage, the real strength could be said to be the difference between heaven and earth. A mid-8-star peerless mighty figure could easily kill a few early 8-star powerhouses. The gap between them was huge. With the absorption of the dragon sword soul, the violent energy in his body was finally diverted. Lin Xian's body also avoided the consequences of exploding. This made him sigh in relief. He formed a seal with both hands and slowly closed his eyes, beginning to absorb the energy in his body with all his might. At the same time, he was looking forward to it. I wonder how far this ancient pill will allow him to advance his cultivation. Lin Xian was cultivating inside the black earth. The place where he was staying was very remote. And because of the concealment of the formation, no one disturbed him for a while. Just like that, he quietly absorbed the ancient pill. On the other side, after separating from Lin Xian, No Flower was being chased by the Black Yak. This big black yak was an elite warrior of the Demon Imperial Palace. His strength was valiant, and he wasn't from the younger generation. Instead, he was a veteran elite warrior. His strength had reached the peak of the early stage of 8 stars. Especially that pair of horns, they were absolutely no weaker than a heaven-step treasured artifact. Therefore, the black yak was very aggressive in its pursuit. However, No Flower was not weak. As the holy son of Lanruo Temple, his strength was incomparably powerful. His cultivation had reached the early stage of 7 stars. His combat strength had reached the early stage of 8 stars. In addition, he had a mysterious bloodline and a precious treasure like the soul anchoring pearl. Therefore, when he used his full strength, his combat strength was equivalent to a mid-stage 8 stars peerless powerhouse. Although the Black Yak was an early-stage 8 stars powerhouse, his combat strength increase was not as good as No Flower's. At full strength, he was only equivalent to a mid-stage 8 stars powerhouse. Therefore, the two were locked in a fierce battle. In the end, No Flower directly used another Buddhist great magical power, the Demon Sealing Spell. This was a kind of magical power that was specially used against the demon race. It had a strong restraining effect on the demon race. However, it was very difficult to cultivate. Moreover, once this magical power was used, it would also produce a vicious aura. One must go into seclusion to cultivate Buddhist doctrine in order to eliminate the vicious aura. Therefore, unless it was a last resort, these Buddhists were not willing to use it. At this moment, No Flower was being chased anxiously, so he used it without hesitation. As soon as the demon sealing spell was used, the black yak's strength was sealed and suppressed. In the end, he was defeated and quickly fled. No Flower breathed a sigh of relief. He moved and found a quiet place to open his small bronze cauldron. In addition, other warriors were looking for opportunities on their own. Of course, most of them were running for their lives because there were too many traps and arrays in this ancient tomb. However, there was one thing that spread like wildfire. That was, the 9 Firmaments Saint was slashed by a sword. This battle was seen by more than a dozen Holy Land warriors, so in the end, the news spread. And it spread more and more widely. For a time, many Holy Land warriors were talking about it. And in the ancient tomb, the first thing that those warriors who met asked about was that the 9 Firmaments Saint was slashed by a human. They all wanted to confirm whether it was true or not. Because it was too shocking. God, was the 9 Firmaments Saint really slashed by a sword? What kind of ruthless person was this, to be so terrifying? Was the 9 Firmaments Saint dead? The people of the 9 Firmaments, Holy Land were going crazy. The 9 Firmaments Saint was not dead. Although he was slashed in half, his body was taken away by the Immortal Palace. He should be able to survive. However, it was not that easy to recover. Who was it? How could he be so strong? Could it be an elder of a Holy Land? No, it was Lin Xian, the Temple Master of the Immortal Palace. What, the Temple Master of the Immortal Palace? How was this possible? Although he was the Temple Master of the Immortal Palace, he looked like a young man. He should be a saint of the younger generation. Yes, how could he slash the 9 Firmaments Saint? Could it be that this guy's strength increased greatly? I don't know. Anyway, I saw it with my own eyes. He slashed the 9 Firmaments Saint in half with a sword. As for whether his strength increased greatly, I don't know. I heard that the nine firmaments saint was chasing him for a treasure in his hands. Could it be the treasure map of the 6 Tao patterns? No, it seems to be something else. That kid might have gotten other treasures from other places. No way, this kid's luck is too good. He got the treasure map of the 6 Tao patterns, and he got other treasures? Indeed, it was enough to make people jealous. However, his strength was indeed shocking. The nine firmaments saint was so terrifying that even a mysterious phantom walked out of the immortal palace, but he could not defeat him. Other than the top saints with sacred bodies and divine bodies, no one could defeat him. That was not necessarily true. Although the nine firmaments saint was a saint, he was only at the average level among the various saints. The geniuses of the other holy lands had many trump cards. If they really attacked, that kid would definitely not be able to resist. Discussions broke out. However, no matter what, the fact that the nine firmaments saint was slashed in half by Lin Xian was still shocking. Everyone who heard it felt their scalps go numb. In the end, this matter was still known by the nine firmaments, Holy Land martial artists. Chapter 2497. In the end, the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground martial artists found out about this. One of the teams had a total of 7 people. 2 elders were leading the team, and the remaining 5 were young disciples. When they heard the news, it was like a bolt from the blue, and they were stunned. What? Their holy son had been struck by someone. Was he killed? They were all panicking. If the Nine Heavens Holy Son had died here, it would be a big deal. First of all, they could not bear the consequences. They could not answer to the sacred ground. Moreover, they would become the laughing stock of all the sacred grounds. They would not be able to raise their heads again. Moreover, the fall of the Holy Sun would not only damage their reputation, but it would also be a huge blow to the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground. The cost of nurturing a Holy Son could be said to be heaven-defying. The resources were unimaginable. Therefore, they could not afford it. They quickly asked around and found out that the Nine Heavens Holy Son was not dead. He was still alive. This made them heave a sigh of relief. However, these people were still furious. Damn Immortal Palace! How dare they kill the Holy Son of the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground? Is that Lin Xian? We must catch him and tear him to pieces. Yes, no one dares to provoke the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground. No matter who it is, they must pay the price. These martial artists of the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground were murderous. They began to search for Lin Xian everywhere. Of course, they did not forget the most important thing. That was to quickly find the Nine Heavens Holy Son. Although the Nine Heavens Holy Son had not been killed, he must be very weak. If he was targeted by someone else, he would be in danger. Needless to say, there were people who had designs on the Nine Heavens Holy Son. After all, he was a holy son with many treasures in his hands. It could be said that he was a small treasure trove. Normally, no one dared to provoke them, because whether it was their personal strength or their background, they were all frighteningly big. But it was different now. The Nine Heavens Holy Son had been struck by someone. Even if he was still alive, his strength would be greatly reduced. And now, more importantly, he was completely separated from the people of the Nine Heavens Sacred Ground. Now, he was alone and helpless. If they made a move now, they could do it secretly, and frame Lin Xian and Immortal Palace. It could be said that it was killing many birds with one stone. Therefore, some people really did have such an idea. You two don't need to follow me anymore. Go find the Nine Firmament Saint's son, kill him, and take his things. A young man in a blue robe with a jade-like face said coldly. He stood with his hands behind his back facing the crowd. Behind him, there were 2 mysterious figures whose faces could not be seen clearly. After receiving the news, the 2 of them immediately took action. With the sway of their bodies, they turned into 2 streaks of light and left the area. Saint Son of the Nine Firmament, since you are so weak, don't blame me for being rude. This green-robed figure gradually became hazy and illusory. From afar, It was as if 7 stars were connected together. Soon, he also disappeared into the void. It wasn't just this green-robed man. On the other side, there was a man whose entire body was shining like a fiend god sitting cross-legged. His eyes flickered, but there was no one around him. His hands continued to form seals, and soon, a beam of light shot out from his body and turned into a human figure. As soon as the silhouette appeared, its body flickered with the light of a demonic god before it was sucked into its body. Go and kill the 9 firmament saint. The figure sitting cross-legged was also surrounded by 108 fiend gods. Her cold voice sounded. The light figure in front of him disappeared. These people were from the other sacred grounds, and they were ready to make a move. However, within the 9 firmament sacred ground, there were also people who had the same idea. The status of the saint was very special in the sacred ground. He was the number 1 of the younger generation, and if nothing went wrong, he would become the sacred leader of the sacred ground in the future. It could be said that countless people were envious of him. Normally, those Holy Sun candidates were not strong enough. But now, they finally had an opportunity. Humph, since you have been injured, don't blame me for being rude. This was also a young man with a cold face, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. In the next moment, his body was wrapped in mist, and he also turned into a stream of light and charged out. For a time, many people were looking for the 9 firmament saint, wanting to kill him. The elders of the 9 firmament sacred ground were even crazier. They searched like crazy, and at the same time, sent out assassination teams to assassinate the people of the Immortal Palace. Under their crazy actions, they really succeeded. One of the disciples of the Immortal Palace was killed, and 3 others were injured. However, the people of the 9 firmament sacred ground did not stop there. Instead, they became more and more aggressive. They even wanted to kill everyone from the Immortal Palace. If not for Murong Qingqing and Shinjingqiu, who were saintesses and had 2 super sacred grounds behind them, they would have been killed. These people of the 9 firmament sacred ground wanted to attack them. Damn it! The martial artists of the Immortal Palace gritted their teeth in anger. They did not expect that the 9 firmament sacred ground would dare to attack them. What was worse was that they were now scattered, and they could not find elderly, Xing Tian, and the others. The remaining young disciples were also geniuses, but under the siege of the elders of the 9 firmament sacred ground, they could not hold on. For a time, they could only hide temporarily and send a distress signal to elderly, Xing Tian, and the others. However, they were still caught by the 9 firmament sacred ground. Among them, a team of 7 people surrounded 3 Immortal Palace martial artists. Not good, run! When the 3 young martial artists of the Immortal Palace saw this, they quickly retreated, wanting to leave. However, among the 7 people, there were 2 elders, and the rest were 5 geniuses. Whether it was strength or numbers, they were far superior to them. Therefore, the 3 martial artists of the Immortal Palace were trapped. Among them, there were 2 men and 1 woman. The 2 men shouted coldly, "Damn it, what are you trying to do? How dare you attack our Immortal Palace? Are you tired of living? What are you trying to do? Of course, we are going to kill you! Your palace master is so reckless, daring to go against our 9 firmament sacred ground. Now is the time of your death. Not only will I kill you, but I will also kill everyone from the Immortal Palace. I will let your palace master know what regret is. Capture the 3 of them first, and don't let them die so easily. I want to torture them to death. I want to let everyone know that no one dares to provoke us." The 2 elders of the 9 firmament sacred ground gave the order. The 5 young disciples behind them rushed forward, courting death. The 3 young Immortal Palace martial artists roared angrily. They used all of their strength to fight against it. After a great battle, they were still defeated. The 3 of them were injured, and there was not much strength left in their bodies. "Haha, you still want to fight with us? You are really reckless." A disciple of the 9 firmament sacred ground walked forward and trampled one of the martial artists of the Immortal Palace to the ground. Buzz! Dozens of sword lights appeared in his hand, and all of them pierced the body of the Immortal Palace disciple. Chapter 2498. Poof! 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 How is it? Have you tasted pain? Kneel down and beg for mercy. Apologize to the 9 heavens holy ground. I can give you a quick death. You're courting death. We, Immortal Palace, will not let you off. Just you wait. Our palace master and elders will come to kill you soon. Kill us? Sure. Let them come. We're looking for them. The people of 9 heavens holy ground sneered. They stabbed a few more times, and blood dyed their bodies red. The martial artist of Immortal Palace struggled madly. Not only him, but his other disciple was also being tortured. The last female disciple was not tortured. However, the other disciples of 9 heavens holy ground grinned maliciously. Girl, you're pretty good looking. I wonder how the women of Immortal Palace taste. Don't worry, yours truly will make you feel good later. At this moment, the martial artists of 9 heavens holy ground were no longer people of 9 heavens holy ground. They were clearly a bunch of beasts. Arg! We, Immortal Palace, will not let you off. The female martial artist screamed madly. Her face was filled with helplessness. There was no one around her. Only 2 people of 9 heavens holy ground were walking towards her. She wanted to escape. However, the space around her was frozen in an instant. Her energy was frozen as well. The ones who attacked were not disciples of 9 heavens holy ground, but 2 elders. Under the power of 2 elders, the female martial artist of Immortal Palace could not resist at all. She closed her eyes as tears streamed down her cheeks. She regretted not using her last chance to self-destruct. Who knows, she might have been able to drag 2 of them down with her. But now, she could not even self-destruct. Poof! Poof! I love to see you guys of Immortal Palace in despair. This makes me feel good. The 2 martial artists of 9 heavens holy ground grinned maliciously as they walked towards each other. The other 2 martial artists of Immortal Palace who were lying on the ground howled madly. Damn you! Bastard! If you dare to touch her, I will not let you off. Their bodies were covered in blood as they howled madly. Won't let me off? Poof! You guys can't even save yourselves. What do you have to let me off? Is there anyone else here? This is our 9 heavens holy ground's territory. As he spoke, one of the 9 heavens holy ground disciples grabbed the female cultivator in front of him. Ah! Pun! Pun! Suddenly, a crack appeared in the void as a red light shot out, slapping the 2 9 heavens holy lands cultivators away. Endless light shone down as the 2 9 heavens holy lands cultivators were sent flying, crashing through the void. Half of their bodies were directly smashed open, blood and internal organs spilling all over the ground. Ah! The 2 of them rolled on the ground, screaming crazily. Light flickered on their bodies as they tried to repair the damage. The remaining people of the 9 heavens holy ground were stunned. The 2 elders' faces darkened. Their gazes pierced through the void like lightning. The remaining 3 disciples roared madly. Who is it? Get the hell out here! How dare you attack us? Are you tired of living? Angry roars could be heard. Hope appeared in the eyes of the 2 Immortal Palace cultivators on the ground. That Immortal Palace female disciple even more so opened her eyes, her face full of shock. Originally, she had already given up all hope, thinking that it would be very difficult for her to escape the clutches of the devil. But who would have thought that at the very last moment, there would be an unforeseen event? Someone had come to save her. Who was it? Was it a strong cultivator from Immortal Palace? The elders of the 9 heavens holy lands also thought so their expressions were extremely grave. Damn it, you sneaky bastard, get the hell out of here! Shouted a disciple furiously. However, as soon as he finished speaking, his body was pierced through. A red claw pierced through his back and directly crushed his heart. Pun! That person fell to the ground, twitching nonstop. The people next to him were scared out of their wits. Damn it! The two elders of the 9 heavens holy lands roared furiously and threw a punch at the red claw. Dang! An earth-shattering collision sound spread in the air. Their palms violently slapped the red claw, like a golden spear and armored horse. The void around them shattered. The elder took 3 steps back, his face pale. It was as if he had slapped a red mountain. His entire arm was numb. However, what shocked him was that the red claw was completely fine. There was no crack at all. F***ck. How dare you hit Master Long? Do you want to die? Behind them, an arrogant voice sounded, a roar shaking those people. Those people began to tremble, the chi and blood within their bodies roiling. A demonic beast? Could it be a flood dragon? They were shocked. The voice was too strong, like a dragon's roar. It made them tremble. The people of the 9 heavens holy lands thought that the people of Beast King Palace had come. But soon they were stunned. That was because they saw a red silhouette walking over. Damn it! Crawling snake! It's the crawling snake from Immortal Palace. They were so angry that they gnashed their teeth. The 3 cultivators of Immortal Palace were excited. Master Long, hurry up and save us! They naturally recognized that it was the snake beside Master Long. Don't worry, Ben Wang is here. He won't let you be in danger. The crimson dragon waved its claw, and countless red lights flew forward, turning into a cloud and enveloping the 3 of them. Whoosh! The 3 of them recovered from their injuries. How magical! Master Long is so powerful! The 3 cultivators of Immortal Palace were excited. They had never seen the Crimson Dragon fight before. They didn't expect it to have such a magical technique. It was worthy of being Master Long's subordinate. It was really strong. The 3 of them were too excited. The people of the 9 heavens holy lands, on the other hand, were gloomy. The other party had just appeared and injured 2 of their disciples, and even killed one of them. This method was too fierce. Moreover, what made them even more worried was whether or not the other party had come alone. If Immortal Palace's army came, they might not be able to escape. But after looking for a long time, other than the other party, no one else appeared. They heaved a sigh of relief. Humph! The 2 elders revealed a ferocious look. Crawling snake, you actually came alone, and you dare to be arrogant in front of us? Later, we will peel off your snake skin. Not bad, your claws are also very sharp. It is suitable to be used as a weapon and armor. F***ck. You actually dare to have ideas about Ben Wang. You really don't know your place. The Crimson Dragon was angry. He didn't attack, but waved his claw. 9 lackeys, come over here. 9 lackeys? What was that? Could it be that there was really an ambush? The people of the 9 heavens holy lands were nervous. The 3 disciples of Immortal Palace were also confused. Why was this name so melodramatic? Just as they were confused, more than 10 figures walked out of the passage in front of them. They were very fast. The 9 of them in front even flashed, and came to the side of the Crimson Dragon. Master, you are looking for us? What? Seeing this, the people of the 9 heavens holy lands were dumbfounded. The 3 disciples of Immortal Palace also opened their eyes wide in disbelief. Heavens! What did they see? You're tuning into the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.